Hello, and welcome to High Rollers, 5th edition D&D stream here on the Yogscast Twitch and over on High Rollers D&D Twitch as well. I am your Dungeon Master, Mark Sherlock Humes, and today I shall be taking you on a new adventure, joined by my fellow players that I will introduce now. There you go. We have Chris Trott.
Hello.
Kim Richards.
Hello.
Tom Hazel.
Hello.
Katie Morrison.
Hello.
Welcome. Still down Rhiannon. She's still away on holiday, but she will be back soon. Couple of things to go into before we crack on with today's episode. First and foremost, a big thank you to our sponsors who have been sponsoring us for over a month now, actually. We've had her for over a month. Big thank you to Brilliant. Brilliant is math and science done right. Brilliant helps you develop the logical reasoning and critical thinking skills to become a better problem solver. I'm not going to be doing you a puzzle this week because Kim is doing a puzzle this week. Kim said she wanted to do some puzzles. So she's been checking out Brilliant. You've been checking out Brilliant.org, haven't you?
Brilliant? It's brilliant, but I'm really dumb.
But that's why Kim's been using Brilliant.org, because it helps you become a better problem solver or problem creator.
I thought I knew puzzles. I did not know puzzles.
But you do now.
Yeah. And I have puzzles to share with you at the break.
Yes, so Kim's going to do one just before we go on break. And don't forget, the first 200 people, if you check out the link, which should be being posted in chat, you can get 20% off your annual subscription to Brilliant if you go and check that out. And then our second sponsor for High Rollers is the wonderful D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond is the official digital toolset for D&D 5th edition with a full compendium, character builder, and great campaign management tools. If you use the code HIGHROLLING, you get 25% off digital purchases, excluding the Legendary Bundle, but it is really good. People have bought like $200 worth of like digital books, and they've saved $50 with that code, so we highly recommend you use it. Check out the link. I've been using D&D Beyond a lot more because it's got a great campaign management tool. Like when Katie was away, I could go in, update all of her hit points, so that's all ready to go.
Watch them go down in real time.
I can add like, you can do things like create custom magic items, which you can then add to character sheets. Like I can add that onto Quill, and stuff like that. It's really, really good. I've really been enjoying using D&D Beyond a lot more.
And there's more stuff coming.
More stuff coming soon.
Yeah,
more stuff coming soon. They're constantly updating it. They've updated the character sheet. Looks really good. Did you forget dice? Oh no,
He literally just whispered in my ear, "Can I borrow your dice?"
Oh no, I can give him dice. Don't worry.
No, you're gonna give him the cursed one.
No, I'm gonna give him the sparkly My Little Pony dice.
I don't want those.
Yeah, that's what you.
No,
I
Mark.
want the sparkly ones.
No. I do want them. Oh, wow.
God.
Which ones do you need more?
These are good. Actually, these are good.
Give you some.
He's
more
got my
D6s and
pencil.
stuff.
I do have my eraser. And now my dice.
Some more.
Oh.
Cool. So with sponsors out of the way, I just put my thing down, my notes of stuff to talk about. A couple of other things. There will be no High Rollers next week because myself and Trott are away. So there won't be a stream next week. Fan art. Talk about it, Chris Trott.
Send it to highrollersdnd@gmail.com so that it's permission for us to use it both in the video for the stream and also on our YouTube channel, High Rollers D&D. It's basically allowing us to make sure that you're okay with it being used.
Still post it on Twitter, still post it on Tumblr, still post it everywhere else, but if you email it to us...
Also email. No. We've almost got enough for another video. We're so close, so please, if you've done art or you're planning it, please send it to the email.
Or if you've tweeted it and or put it on Tumblr already and assume that we will use it, please email it, just in case.
I will actively not scour social media anymore because sometimes people don't want their art on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's fine. Pride shirts. Kim, do you want to talk about this? Are they still in?
Yes, so the Pride shirts that we showed last week, so that's Yogscast in rainbow colours, are still on the store and they're going to be there until the 27th of July.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
They extended the date for it basically, and all proceeds from that are going to the charity Stonewall, which is an LGBT charity, so really good cause. So go buy Pride t-shirts.
They're really nice.
Store.yogscast.com.
Skirt of your cur to cur.
Last thing, which I'm going to talk about, is our good friend Russ. I can't remember his surname because I only know him on Twitter. I know it's Russ. Huh? Is it Russ All? No.
Dogman.
Our good friend Russ has launched a Kickstarter.
Charles?
So Russ is a miniature sculptor. He does freelance miniature sculpting. He actually has made custom miniature sculpts for the Aerois characters. We've got Quill and Nova so far. The other ones we're going to get made soon. He has done a Kickstarter called Dungeons and Doggies. Basically,
amazing.
it's different dogs as different classes from Dungeons and Dragons with rules to use them in your campaigns. Really, really cool guy. Russ has done a really great thing for us by making these sculpts for us.
Oh, man.
They're really, really cool.
Doggos.
The dogs are amazing. They're super cute. Cornelius, the Golden Retriever Wizard, is the best one, 100%.
There's a corgi one in there.
There is a corgi one in there, which is pretty good. That's true. You can check that out. It's on Kickstarter. It's called Dungeons and Doggies. If you go on my Twitter and High Rollers, I think we've retweeted it and stuff. Jane's got it in chat. Thank you, Jane Dash.
Put it in the High Rollers one too. That'd be
Russ
sweet.
Charles.
Russ Charles, thank you, finally. I just know him as Russ. So you can check that out. Really big thank you, Russ. You're a legend. And I know that he watches the stream. He's like an actual watches the stream as well. So
Did you see that then?
Oh,
We're both exactly the same time.
I just didn't.
Russell.
I got it now. Yes, thank you, Chris
Creepy.
Trott.
No, you're creepy. You were creepy. No, that's creepy.
Why are you being creepy?
We both exactly the same time. Just bam.
Happened again.
You two are a strange pair. Okay, well, I think that we should play the Aerois video and then we'll jump into the recap. So take it away, Steve.
Already done it.
Hello. I just want that. I just want it. I want that on a shirt. Basically, I was talking about how I want the Aerois shirt logo. So, welcome to High Rollers. This is episode 5?
4.
4. I don't know anymore. Welcome to episode 5. Yeah, I think so.
5
I don't
because
know
we
where
did
I
a
am
0.
anymore.
5, yeah, because we did 0. So a
close.
brief recap then on what happened last time. You all had crashed on an airship called the Sparrowblade into a valley deep in the continent of Suvona, southern Suvona, in a place called the Bitterwood. You crash landed, and after finding an NPC called Arvel who had drifted off from the party and helping him escape the hands of some wild elves, some kind of savage-looking wild elves, you had started talking about where you were going to go, your plans, how you were going to survive, and you had made your way to the airship crash itself to look for supplies. There you had discovered a few different items, you discovered the fate of a few things, and that was last week's recap. You were discovered by another band of wild elves that had come to kind of pillage the site themselves. You were spotted, so you ran off into the woods. During the escape, Nova and I believe Nova and Lucius, you guys basically began becoming exhausted and tired, slowed down. And rather than trying to push on and continue running, you decided to make the choice to try and hide. So trying to hide in the woods, you all scattered and did your best to try and hide yourselves and escape this band that were following you, that were chasing you behind. Unfortunately, Nova and Lucius were discovered, and they were being dragged away by this group of wild elves. Quill was then also subsequently discovered by their kind of pet hawk, like a snow hawk that had come with them. And you were basically facing the threat of being captured and taken back to their camp. Lucius managed to persuade the group to just take some valuables from them and to let you go, basically.
Tried to pay them off.
Yes.
Instead, they took us.
Yes, you wanted to pay them off, but the shaman that you were speaking to had no interest in gold or anything like that, and instead ended up taking your food rations, as well as Lucius's arcane focus, Nova's sword that she carried with her that looks very unusual, and 2 scrolls from Quill.
I needed those.
They left you to fend for yourselves, and very dispirited, you made your way to where the others were located to take a long rest. During that long rest, you discussed what you wanted to do, and a plan was hatched to basically sneak into their camp at night and to try and steal your objects, steal your items back. You waited until it was midnight, you snuck into the camp, you spotted that there were a few sentries around. Unfortunately, Ayla made the attempts to try and sneak up on the first sentry to take them out. Made some noise through some bad luck of a natural one. Look, blame the dice, man. And alerted the sentry. Ayla managed to injure the sentry quite badly, and then Quill, I believe, attempted to finish him off by firing the Thunderstone pistol, which makes a colossal noise.
It was already
Why
going
did
to
you have
set.
the pistol though?
Oh, because
Quill convinced Ayla to let him use it whilst Ayla was focusing
you weren't going
on
to
other
use
things.
it.
I'm sure you
might
can have
have.
it back.
You can have it back.
Yeah, it's just why you.
It was alone. Like, it was definitely alone.
It was alone. And thus a battle ensued with you facing off against multiple sentries, the other elves becoming awake. The shaman that you dealt with earlier was present. You managed to defeat him. But then as the battle began sort of turning and the numbers were kind of overwhelming you, a figure emerged from one of their habitats. They're kind of like these shelters that they've built. A woman dressed in furs and leather and kind of bone kind of trinkets emerged and basically saw that you'd slaughtered a number of her people. Nova attempted to convince her to give your stuff back and then let you go, but she seemed very upset at the deaths of her friends, and transformed into a large bear using druidic magic. And that is where we begin. I have one thing, which I am going to not retcon, but clarify. I forgot that Sentry has an item which allows her to reduce damage from attacks by 1, and she took 2 attacks, so she reduced the damage that she took by 2, which leaves her on 1 hit point. So we jump back into the game as we see this bear kind of bite down and then swipe at Sentry, and you notice these claws rake across her armor, into her like wooden frame, tearing splinters. And she buckles. She goes to one knee, and her lights kind of begin to dim with the energy behind them. But then there is a faint flicker of she just has enough energy left to kind of keep standing. And you can see that she barely like raises her shield, weakly holding onto her battle axe, but she is still alive. Ayla, it is your turn. However, you are currently under the effects of a hold person spell. So at the end of your turn, I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Do better than Mark did.
I did very badly.
No.
Oh.
That's going to not
What
be a
was
very
it?
high total, just in case. 8.
8.
So you still feel yourself like you're aware, you can hear things going on behind you, but all you can see is one of these elves kind of sneaking around with a short bow, kind of looking at the rest of the fight, and doesn't seem to be paying much attention to you. And you're just there like, unable to move entirely. Lucius, we jump straight back in with you at this point. You can see Sentry's kind of collapsed down, but this large bear does seem to have probably turned its attention away from Sentry, thinking that she's probably down.
Buddy. You must save Sentry.
I can't. I have no spells.
You're useless.
I'm not
I'm going to run this way. 5,
Use your body.
20. Over.
So you run over to Nova, basically.
You must save Sentry.
Oh man.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Acid Splash.
Not on me.
Can you do that without your
Okay.
focus?
You're not going to do
Yes,
it on the
I believe
That's a cantrip.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
What are you going to do on the bear?
You must save Sentry.
You cast Acid Splash on one of these elves that's like right by this shelter,
Yes.
looking around. You can see he's aiming a short bow at you. It looks like the 2 elves were aiming towards yourself, Quill, and
I remember.
and Yusuf.
Jeez.
That's a 3.
Do better.
8.
Is it an attack roll with Acid Splash? So you hurl this glob of acid.
Oh, dex saving throw, sorry.
Well, that's convenient for you because I rolled a 7, so that's a total of 7.
Yeah.
So I believe that is a d6 points of acid damage.
Correct.
Oh.
That's a 1.
That's a 1.
1 point of acid damage. So you throw the glob of
launching
acid,
those
but
dice.
surrounding, the map doesn't show this, but there are trees kind of all over the place. The glob of acid just basically hits one of these branches, melts through it, and only really just kind of spatters him with a few like little droplets. He kind of is like, and you can hear sizzling off of his fur armor, but he doesn't seem to be too badly damaged. First level spells are higher. You will learn this one day. Cantrips it doesn't work for.
Dang it!
So after Lucius go, it is unfortunately the 2 elves. So Tom, can you just move that one closer to his buddy? So he's going to move kind of next, and then the other one is just going to shift off about a few feet this way.
Yep.
Yep. And then they both aim their short bows, and they're both going to aim at Lucius. Having seen you kind of conjure this ball of acid, they kind of turn their aim and they fire these 2 short bows in your
Move your
direction.
Rubicons.
So that's 8 and
We're not sponsored by them, damn it.
But it is
10
good.
AC.
12.
12. So both of these arrows, you can see that they're kind of like aiming, but the trees and the cover, they're kind of keeping an eye on the bear and what it's doing. Both arrows just into the trees around you.
Nova, save me
You
now!
hear like these pings going off all around you. Quill.
I mean, so I have to reload my gun, don't I?
Yes, you do. If you would like to fire the Thunderstone pistol again.
So I wouldn't be able to fire it in the same turn. I guess reloading isn't a bonus action.
No, reloading is a full action for these things. It's like a flintlock, right? Like you literally put the bullet out and you shove it down the thing and then...
Also, I'm super far away from everybody.
Yeah, you were trying to keep away from the fight, if I remember
Do you have
correctly.
anything left?
I don't have any ranged things.
You've got cantrips.
I could send a message to Sentry.
If you've got like
Bye.
Sacred Flame and Word of Radiance, dude.
They're 5 feet. I can't get in within range. I can
Sacred
You
Flame
can
isn't
try.
5 feet.
15, 20, 25, 30.
Sacred Flame is
Probably worth
definitely...
No, I don't
not
have Sacred Flame.
Oh, you don't have it, okay.
No, I... 5, 10, 15, 20,
What are
25,
you
30.
good
So even that is out of range. I am going
So
to...
you run up, you move, use your move action. You could dash,
Yeah.
but then you wouldn't have action left. But you
I
could
will-
throw yourself in front of Sentry.
I'm going to say to Sentry, I'm going to yell from as far back as I am.
Uh-huh.
We fought bigger than this. You can definitely take this one down. That's a bardic inspiration.
Okay, okay. So you're going to give Sentry a d6 for Bardic Inspiration?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay,
Let's
cool.
see.
So you so you move up, so you're not going to do it. Do you want to do anything with your action?
No.
I'm going to give you a pro tip then. This is DM pro tip, because I'm a nice DM.
Okay.
YouTube comments. If you're not going to do anything with your action, I highly recommend you take the dodge action. So everybody can
dodge
take the
action.
dodge action. It is an action to do. It means they have disadvantage on the attacks against you.
Ah.
It's basically like you preparing yourself, like, oh, they're going to attack me, and like, you know, moving out the
Juke
way.
out the way.
Wow.
So obviously intelligent enemies will see you doing that and will probably try and target other people.
Standing there, like waving around.
Like-
can't hit me.
Like doing the old Dempsey roll, you know, doing the old boxing roll.
Nice. Okay, I'll do
okay,
that
so
then,
you're going to
yeah.
do that. So at this point, you guys are all motioning. You see one of the elves kind of glance back towards the shelter behind them temporarily, like as if he's just heard something. And then you see the shelter kind of erupt as beams and purple light just kind of out of the rooftop bill, like between the timbers, between the logs.
Or
There is
out
like-
of it.
Yeah, it's like something inside has just exploded in purple magical light, and just these beams kind of erupt out of it. Splinters go flying. The closest one, I'm going to give a dex saving throw. He just manages to hit the deck before this large chunk of like timber is blown into the back of him.
What?
You kind of hear this kind of like yelp, and then emerging from the side of it, yeah, you might as well, because like parts of it kind of blow apart. Emerging from like the building, looking a little stunned, you see a young girl, 14, with black hair and purple eyes. She's holding Tiangong in one hand, and she has your arcane focus in the other one. She like looks around, spots probably Lucius and Nova. She like looks at you, and then as the elf, like this other elf, start turning around behind her, she kind of like glances around, closes her eyes, mutters something under her breath, and then you watch as her form becomes incredibly quick, and she dashes. She can make a dash move.
Who is she?
So
Oh, I don't know
She's
who it
standing
is.
frozen like.
What is
can
she?
you count? If I put her there,
Yeah.
Tom, on that side,
Yeah.
like about there, she would run around this way. She can move twice because she can dash as a
60
bonus
then?
action, so she can go 60. Can she get to Lucius and Nova?
Can she like one-shot the bear?
Not quite.
No.
Okay,
Get to that
so
tree.
she rushes over to there, and you can see her like her form is like moving incredibly
Jeez.
quickly. She rushes over and she calls out. She's like, "I've got them! I've got them!" And she's like, like waving them at you, basically.
Brilliant work, girl. Beautiful.
Did you grab my scrolls?
There is no response to your lack of scrolls.
I need those.
Well, hang on.
Vala? Was it Vala?
Yeah, so she used her move to move in there. She grabbed the thing and then, action, bonus action to dash. So that's her turn done.
She's cool. Can we swap Quill for?
Yeah, like Final Fantasy, just put Quill on it.
Yeah.
I'll be
On the
playing
bench.
her all of a
Thank
sudden.
Need to
Get Barrett in there.
let's check the range of Sacred Flame.
Is this burning?
Is this burning an eternal flame?
A sacred flame.
Close your
That was
eyes.
beautiful.
Give me your hand,
Don't start.
darling.
Talking of hands.
What? What?
Sacred Flame
Who's doing a sacred flame?
has a range of 60 feet. Sister Yusef, she's going to move up to here. She's easily within range of the bear, and she kind of conjures this holy light.
Nice.
It's like, get away from the Guardian! That's a saving throw.
Does Yusef
Stand
notice
there like
Vala?
left arm.
At this point, she was already knew what she was doing, but yes, you do see her like catch her eye as she runs past as she kind of launches out this sacred flame. Sadly, the bear kind of just like tucks as the white light just kind of sails over her. Nova.
Okay. Can I please move up to Valor? Valor? As in
Vala. V-A-L-L-A. 10,
Vala. Okay.
Vala.
30. You can get there.
Okay.
you're
Is that
2
enough
feet
for me to
away.
get my sword?
It's like just, I would say it is just out of reach. You're like more than 5 feet away. Can you stretch 5 feet with your arms? Probably not. But you could
like
dash
one whole
and grab
turn.
them off of her, but it would just cost your action.
I can't do an action then. In which case, I would like to.
You not just call it into your hands.
Not
no,
yet.
do that
I'm
yet?
Not
not
yet.
level 3, Tom.
Why does it do that at level 3?
Yeah,
I was joking.
yeah. Warlocks can like
Yeah.
literally magically
That's
summon
legit.
us.
For
Yeah.
level 3.
Legit a thing I could do.
Man, why could you just
yeah,
run off and
if I
kill
was
some
level,
boars
if I was
and
level
come back?
3,
Stop talking about
none
what
of
you
this
could
would
do.
have happened.
What are you doing?
It's like
Level
Stormlight
3.
blades. Storm blades.
Shard blades.
Sharp blades. It's been a while.
Like
They take like 10 seconds to summon.
10
So you-
heartbeats.
10
10
heartbeats.
heartbeats.
Eldritch Blast
So
the bear.
if you had like a really fast heart.
That's literally, they talk about
You're
that
a
in the
bird,
books.
like a woodpecker.
23 Eldritch Blast the bear.
Yeah, so you can feel like seeing Tiangong so close, that sense of power kind of returns a little bit. Like you can feel your energy becoming stronger. The one thing you probably would notice is you don't get the same, like there's a, like almost like Tiangong's been drained slightly. Like there's almost like you don't quite get the same sense that his energy levels is the same, but you can still fire your Eldritch Blast. So what'd you roll?
I'm furious.
Milk
This one's a
tin.
D10, right?
Yes.
4.
Towards the bear, yes?
Yes.
Okay. I will also make a concentration check. Passed. So you watch as the blast kind of, this bear kind of like whips its head around towards you.
Behind a tree.
Yeah, you are behind a tree. This bear looks like it could probably rip that tree down.
It's also,
They will take them in
it's
action
also
to
a
do so.
druid, not a
It
bear.
can climb. Yeah, true.
He knows.
It's a bear.
It does know. It does know.
I wonder what made all that.
So
purple
yeah,
light.
so you fire the Eldritch Blast, but yeah, you get this strange sense that the power from Tiangong is diminished slightly. Sentries go. Sentry stands up. She places her hand on her chest. She's going to put all 10 of her lay on hands into
Yeah.
herself
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
because
is.
she needs to. Otherwise, she's going to
Good
go down.
shout, Sentry.
Could she add Bardic Inspiration onto that amount?
No, Bardic Inspiration is only 2 attack rolls, saving throws, and
Oh, not
Can't do
damage.
checks.
or healing.
if you're a College of Battle or College of Valor, you can add it to damage.
But Quill isn't.
However, that costs her action, so she literally just kind of gets into a readied stance, but all she can do is stand up and heal herself, really. She can't attack this turn. And then the bear will go. So, Cal would see that you're about to get that. It's done that. Sentry's just gotten up. It will probably attack Sentry again. Try and knock her down. 7 on the bite. So it goes to chomp her, but Sentry slams the royal shield into her mouth.
Nice.
And then the claw this time comes in at the side, but her armor just absorbs the blow. Like Sentry turns her armored side, and the claws just rattle against it. The bear kind of cries out angrily. Ayla,
That's because of all the inspiration.
sorry. It took down the scariest threat. Oh, man.
10.
Lucius.
Oh, cripes. I'm going to ready in action.
Okay.
Vala, toss me my ball.
Okay.
My hand thing. And
when you get
once
it,
I receive it, I'm
Yeah.
going to cast Chromatic Orb on the closest elfo.
on the elf. Okay. Cool. So that's what you're doing with that readied action.
Frustrated.
I know. I'm sorry, dude.
So you can ready an action of putting on the thing and then casting with it.
It's going to slip on in one smooth motion,
Okay.
and I'm going to
Yeah.
cast
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Slow motion.
Because
as well.
Mark isn't fully listening.
So you will see. So one of them drops its short bow and basically pulls out like a hatchet and goes for Vala because she just seen this girl run past.
Uh-oh.
The other one is going to keep its bow and it aims a bow at you again. 15 to hit you this time,
Yeah, that
Lucius. So that's going to be 4 points of damage as an arrow just narrowly scrapes past your hand. The other one comes up behind Vala and swings its hand axe, but she just kind of ducks underneath it as it into a tree nearby and he yanks it free. Quill.
Okay, can I? I want to scoot up right behind Sentry and just
Okay.
duck behind her, behind
Okay.
the shield as well, and I'll put a hand on her, and that will be resistance.
Just D4 to saving throws.
D4 to. Oh, it's saving throws. I thought it was. What am I looking for?
Guidance.
Guidance. Guidance is the one I'm going to do then. Yes.
Skill checks.
Yeah.
Is that worse?
I mean,
It's a cantrip.
if you're
right?
thinking of attack rolls, none of them
yeah,
do that.
no,
That's
they do.
Bless that does attack rolls.
No, I was thinking something else. Oh, I know what I was thinking of. It's a spell that I can't cast because I have no spell slots. I'll duck behind her and I'll use resistance on her.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Okay.
That's all Quill wrote.
Okay. So you can't use any of your cantrips.
That was a cantrip. The
No, I mean like attacking cantrips.
well, I could.
Oh, I see. Okay. I didn't. I thought you didn't have any. Okay.
Thingy, the
Do you want
dog.
to dodge?
That was my
You've
action.
got- That was your action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got no bonus action cantrips.
Ooh.
I'll grab some next time
Expedious.
after a long rest. Mental note: next time I sleep, remember something else.
Expeditious.
What?
I was checking out this spell that Vala has
Expeditious
on her.
retreat.
Yes, that's what Vala's got on her.
Oh.
As a bonus action on each turn, you can take the dash action, so it still provokes a thing. So yeah, so she will disengage because she doesn't want to risk getting hit by this guy. She palms off Tiangong, so she like throws Tiangong into you as she kind of runs past at this high speed. The guy like goes to take a strike, but she waits and then ducks under him, throws you Tiangong, and then literally
Nova.
comes right next to you,
Tiangong.
and then is just like slams the thing into your hands.
Lucius.
Yeah, to Lucius. Yeah, because she had to give the sword to Nova. Yeah, oh, sorry. Yes, thank you. So she gives the sword to Nova as she runs past, and then she puts into Lucius' hands your arcane focus.
Bless you, child.
You put it on, and then chromatic orb towards the one that shot the bow at you.
That is a.
Saving throw or attack roll?
It's a spell attack.
Okay.
16.
That's a hit.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, it is. 3d8.
Wow.
And this would trigger your dichromancy as well.
Yeah, it would. 1, 2.
Oh, wow.
Whoa!
wow.
16.
What kind of damage is this? Cold
This
or
is-
acid?
Acid.
Acid. So you pull the arcane focus on, and the
Tiny 4-inch ball.
Yeah, the diamond in the palm of it begins to glow, and you kind of you summon it, and then this kind of like blast of orange light. That as soon as it hits this elf, you just watch as like armor and flesh and bone begins to melt away. He's like, and then just leaves like a smoldering corpse.
Is this
pull-
this guy?
No, that was this guy.
that one?
That guy's
Yeah,
dead.
one in.
He gone.
And then you
I'm going to pull wisps of orange that's emanating from this gem and then throw that to the other one.
okay towards the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, and how much damage is that with the dichromancy? I think
So that
it's
would be-
charisma mod plus level.
So my level is 2 and charisma mod is 3.
So 5.
5.
So you watch as like these kind of trails of orange acidic energy kind of splash into him. He's like, oh no! And calls out as he sees his friend being melted by this orange light. Spell slot done.
Yes.
Good. So yeah, good turn. So you knew that. Do you want to move or anywhere? I suppose you moved up to there anyway, didn't you?
I haven't moved.
Oh, you haven't moved, so you could still move.
Thank you, fella. I'm going to pat her on the head.
Oh, actually, no, this was a readied action. You can't move, sorry. Correcting myself.
Just pat her on the head then.
Yeah, you just pat her on the head. Good job. Sister Yusuf will attempt a Sacred Flame again. Natural 20.
Hey! Yay!
on the saving throw. I just realised it's not an attack roll.
Oh.
The bear has to make a dex saving throw. The bear just got a natural 20 saving throw. So it kind of like, as it turns on the
Roller
sentry,
coaster.
the sacred flame like launches out on the bear. She almost seems to like shift her form, like the kind of almost reverts to a human form and then back into a bear as
wow.
the energy sails past. Doesn't do anything. Yusef is just like frustrated. It's just like, Vala, get behind me now, and like is throwing out this stuff as she sees Vala rushing past. Nova.
Okay.
So you got this guy in front of you, but he seems injured.
Yeah. I'm going to ignore him. And can I... Do I want a hex or do I want a hexblade curse? Can I move forward 30?
Towards who?
Towards the owlbear druid lady.
Bear.
Can I please place a hexblade curse on her?
Okay.
Which means
What does that do?
I adds my proficiency bonus to damage rolls. Attack rolls of 19 or 20 are crit hit, and when the cursed target dies, I regain hit points.
Okay, great. And is that an action or a bonus action?
That is a bonus action.
Okay.
With my action, I would like to Eldritch Blast.
Okay. So you summon Tiangong. Now that it's in your hand.
25.
Okay, so 25. This time you kind of feel the energy pulse. Diminished as it is, you still feel stronger with Tiangong in hand. You let out a blast of energy.
It was a 19.
Yes, that was a critical hit.
Was it a 19 that you rolled?
Yeah, I
Then it's a
rolled
critical hit.
Yeah.
Then it's a critical hit.
Is that a
So
war thing?
double the dice. And
It's a
then
hexblade curse.
yeah, it's a hexblade curse. And then so what did you get on the dice?
6 on the dice.
So double that to 12.
To 12, and then
Plus
I
proficiency.
plus my proficiency, which is 2.
You got it. So 14.
It.
Nat 19.
Nat 19.
Boom!
And then she has to make a concentration saving throw. 14 passes.
She's doing too well.
I'm trying to break it.
Paralyzed. I know, like you're doing really
Druids.
well. However, you can see that. Oh, in fact, actually, no. Her bear form only has 34. So you watch as that blast hits her. The form shudders and she reverts back to.
Boom!
I don't like fighting druids, Mark. I like being a druid.
I know you don't.
Does that technically count as hit points back? No.
No, she's not
Still
defeated.
alive.
She's still alive. But you watch as her form kind of shudders and she like coalesces back into this form and she kind of like looks around. She's like, ah. She like looks around. She's just like, you will pay for all my people's blood that you have spilled. After Nova, we go to Sentry. Sentry
Wait, does
stand.
she have to make a concentration check?
No, not when she breaks out of it. She did for the damage.
Is she the... Who's holding person on me?
She is.
She is. So she did do a check.
For the damage. I made a
me.
concentration check for the damage, but being knocked out of Druid form doesn't require a concentration check for spells.
Yeah.
She did. I rolled for the damage. I did. I promise you.
He did. Yeah. He did.
I'm just confused. I
Sentry.
wasn't here last week. I don't know what's happening.
Sentry is going to stand up and sensing that this the woman is down. She looks at her. She's like, "I'm sorry, but I can't let you hurt these others anymore." Gets the battle axe and tries to get an attack in.
Bed it into her skull.
Only a 10, unfortunately.
She
Oh, she has Bardic Inspiration though.
Aha!
Da-da-da-da.
With a 6 on the Bardic Inspiration for
Oh,
a 16.
nice.
So you watch, it's like you cry out like you can do this or something like that, and she can see the druid going to duck, so she lets go of the axe and then just slams the shield into her face. It collides in, and I will make this a divine smite with her last
Boy.
with her last spell slot as well.
D&D Beyond.
So that's going to be 7, 4, 11, plus 3, 4, 14 points of damage.
Oof, tasty.
She still catches the axe, obviously, but yeah, the shield kind of slams in and it sparks with this purple energy that Sentry has kind of powering through her core. That's going to be another concentration check, which is a failure because that is a 9.
That's
So-
how many rolls?
You feel yourself like this spell go as she's like stumbles back holding like a bloody nose. You can see this kind of like spear tip on a pendant that she has. Kind of like she kind of grips it as she like stumbles back and is like, ugh, and like tries to spit out some of the blood and things like that encrusting around her face. After Sentry's go, it is her go. She will
Die.
in a bit of a rage at the moment. She will conjure. You've seen Lucius use a spell like this, like a shard of ice that she throws behind Sentry, basically into the supplies next to Quill and Sentry, as she tries to explode it.
Supplies.
Actually, how does I'm going to get this spell up? Actually, you've got it there, haven't you, Trot?
What's that?
Ice knife.
Yes, I do.
So it's is it an
Nice.
attack roll? I think it is for the first
bolt of
part,
nice.
isn't it?
Bolt
Bolt of
Bolt
nice.
of nice.
Yes.
So she's explaining the supplies.
And so she targets a creature,
it'll
and then it's all
explode
creatures within 5 feet.
into
5 feet.
So
Yeah.
she's going to target Quill so that she doesn't hit herself. Does a 14 hit Quill?
Oh, just.
D10.
I've got 14.
So you take D10 piercing damage,
Yeah.
which is 4. So you take 4 piercing damage, and then
Okay.
you and Sentry both need to make dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
Sentry fails.
It's 2d6 cold.
22.
So you pass. Is it half damage for me, Chris Trot? On failure?
Let me double check that. I believe it is. Oh, it must succeed or take 2d6.
Yeah. So, it's not safe for half. Okay, so you take nothing. So you leap out the way. So you take this kind of like shard that embeds in you, but you manage to quickly yank it free and throw it in front of you before it explodes into ice shards.
Okay.
Sentry does kind of get like pummeled in the back, but you manage to like bring up your wing and kind of like fend off these shards of ice.
Nice. So that was 6 damage or 4 damage.
It was 4 piercing damage you took.
Awesome. Cool.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Taking damage. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
And she kind of like stumbles
ball.
back, and she's just like looks around. She's like, "If I am going to die, I will take some of you as recompense." And seems to stagger back for a moment.
big word.
Ayla,
Am I raging or am I not?
you unfortunately because you were paralyzed, the rage ran out. So I did
Fair.
have you rage, but you've still got 1 left.
I wouldn't like to hit her.
You could use your
smash,
last
smash.
rage if you like.
I mean, breaking out of this.
Can I'm not going to use a rage. I would like to
Reckless.
attack
Okay,
though.
so with advantage.
18 plus 6 to hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
24. She doesn't appear to have any armor. She's just wearing like robes, basically.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage.
Is that with strength and everything? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is 23. So you hit her in the back with the hammer, and it kind of sends her reeling, and again, like it kind of rattles her, and you probably hear like something snap, like maybe like an ankle or something like that. But she's still standing as she kind of like stumbles around, kind of disorientated, but still alive, barely, as she stands there.
Barely.
Barely. Lucius.
Puns.
Wait, we can keep her alive.
Why?
Use her as bargaining or something. I guess that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Is this
And I
the
will dash.
She's
Oh, yeah,
the tribe leader that was mentioned.
one that was mentioned?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
This is Kara. Kara.
Yeah. Carla.
Kala.
Stand down, or I'll kill your last clan friend.
Is that what you're crying out?
Yes.
Give me an intimidate check.
Very intimidating, aren't you?
He's not bad. He's got a good charisma, so.
Okay.
14.
So you see her kind of like, it looks like she's like, you can see her eyes are like bloodshot. She's snarling, like blood is pouring down her mouth where the nose has probably been broken. And she looks like she's about to conjure another one of these kind of like blasts of ice. And then as you say that, she looks and she sees the look of fear on like this last remaining Wild Elf's face as he's like looking at you and seeing like the melted form of his friend that you and he's just kind of like holding his arms up and this kind of hatchet in a defensive position. And she does hesitate. She looks like she kind of like wavers for a second. After Lucius, it is the elf. The elf guy is going to try and run away.
Where's he
So
going?
he literally just, I mean, imagine that the forest goes on, so he'll just run off basically like this. So he just turns tails and he's like, and he just starts sprinting off into the woods. Quill.
He's spooked.
I mean, does she look like she's dropping stance?
It
or
looked like she was. It looked like she was. Whatever Lucius's threat was, like, definitely hit home. You don't know if that means that she's gonna. You don't know what she's preparing to do. It looks like she's just kind of like hesitated for a second when she realized that potentially one of her last remaining friends is alive.
Can I reload my Thunderstone pistol with
That's
an
an
action?
action. Yeah. So you kind of have to like tuck it sort of.
Yeah.
Like into your belt and then like use your one hand to.
Hang on.
Like.
And then I will point it at her and say, "We mean it. We don't need to kill you. We don't need this to end like this.
But I'm going to point a gun.
I'll point a gun at you anyway."
I don't even know what a gun is.
And that's it. Like I'm pointing it over like Sentry.
Okay, so
Using
is
your
the
shoulder
are
to
you
bring it
trying
on.
more to intimidate her or persuade her? Because like if you're pointing a gun at somebody, that's kind of like I'm intimidating you. But what you're saying is more like you know, like listen to us, like, you know, we don't have to fight.
Could this just be as part of a help towards what Lucius was doing?
No, this would be a separate check
thing.
because like Lucius has
Already
already
done
done
it,
it. Yeah, it's already happened.
I mean, I'm going for persuasion.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be intimidating.
Okay, that's fine. No,
so-
it's more that I wanted to get your idea of the intent. So you're kind of like pointing the gun in her direction, but you're not like, listen, motherfucker, like, you can't do what we tell you. It's more like, we'll kill you if we have to, like,
Yeah.
you know. But cool, yeah, give me a persuasion check.
14.
14, okay. Yeah, so again, you kind of see that flicker of like the kind of wariness and the fire going out of her eyes. And yeah, it definitely seems to resonate in her, but you're not quite sure exactly what she's going to do next.
Okay. Can I ready? Or if I've used an action, I suppose I can't ready an action.
No, you've already used your action.
Okay.
So you guys are doing all of this over there.
What?
So Lucius, you probably see Vala like behind you. You can see like her whole body is like really tensed up. She's kind of moving around, and she sees this woman like holding like this like conjured ball of ice, and like she looks like she's about to throw it down still. But you've obviously seen this kind of moment of hesitation. So has Quill. But you get the sense that Vala hasn't noticed that conversation, and she just kind of goes like, "Get away from them!" and like throws her hands out, and these 3 bolts of purple energy come flying out.
Is that magic missile?
It is a magic missile.
Guaranteed
That shit
damage.
done hit. Oh, done miss.
Yeah.
8,
Could I
11.
You can't do shit.
So you
Can't
watch
use my
as
reaction.
like she's holding this spell, and it looks like she's about to say something, and then just and her body just flumps down to the ground. As you can see these like scorching blast marks.
Vala, no!
And like you turn around, and she's like shaking. She's like breathing
I'm gonna
deep.
go up to her and kind of.
And then she kind of like backs off from you for a second.
We're still in initiative row, right?
At this point, the other guy's running. Like,
But how
I mean,
far away is
yeah, that's a good
60,
point.
right?
So it goes to Yusuf, who will literally just do this. Just
towards
runs
Vala,
over.
yeah.
It's like, Vala, like, what are you doing? Runs over to her. After her, Nova.
Okay, so
far
I'm
away
gonna,
is this guy?
I'm gonna,
Yeah,
look,
he's there.
He's
He's
there.
literally there.
I'm gonna look around and I'm just gonna be like,
He's probably about another 20 feet actually from there. So because he would have dashed.
I'm just
yeah.
gonna go, well, I guess we don't leave any survivors?
Wow. Fucking Nova, the scholar, just like.
I'm
Get
very
no loose
angry.
ends.
I'm
Yeah, sure.
very angry.
By
I've
all
had a
means.
very bad couple of days.
Sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elves.
So
in these
I'd
woods.
like to move
30 feet.
30,
And then you're well within range to Eldritch Blast.
and I'm gonna
It's
Eldritch.
120 feet for Eldritch Blast.
Nah,
I mean, add it up.
13 points.
That still hits him.
Hits.
He's only wearing like loose leather, like really thin leather.
3 plus.
2.
Oh wait, no, because the curse is only.
Oh no, so yeah, so it's just 3.
Yeah, and I can't move it, so it's just 3. Yeah.
So you watch as like he's like running through the woods, like he stumbles, like he trips, he falls into the tree line. Yeah, you're the last one to go. Sentry's is no way to stop him, so I'm going to say probably. Who else has got a turn? No, Lucius could finish him off actually. Okay, so Sentry, seeing this woman goes down, looking around. Tries to see who's injured. She herself is quite injured but has no healing. So she'll probably just kind of like turn around. Are you all right, Quill? Like Sentry turns around to you like, are you injured? And like, just make sure you're okay.
Don't worry about me. Are you okay?
I need rest, but I will be fine.
I think we all do.
She's
Ayla,
dead.
are you okay?
Ayla, it's your go next. Do you want to do anything? I don't know if you can reach that.
I'm gonna try it anyway.
So you're just going to run after him.
Terminator run.
I'd have to dash.
You can dash, but I mean, I guess you would, right? Like, this is you chasing after him into the woods.
I
I mean, you keep eyes on him. Like, you can see him running away.
I
So, like,
imagine me really angry running towards him is probably going to shit him up a little bit.
Lucius, what would you like to do?
I can't watch. I'm gonna go to Vala.
Okay, so you're not going to pursue him in that regard.
No.
Okay. So you go over to Vala, and you can see that Yusuf has like literally like thrown her arms around her, and you can hear her talking to her. You kind of catch like the end of a conversation, like, "What are you doing? You're not supposed to use your mag. Like, you're not trained enough." And she's just like, "Oh, she was going to kill them. She was going to kill them." Like, she's just kind of like freaking out a little bit. And Yusuf's like, "It's fine. They're okay. They're okay." And she's just, like, you can hear the kind of like reassuring conversation. Quill,
I mean, rather than pointing my pistol at him and then firing it into the air while screaming, I'm gonna be super like panicked. I think Quill would be super panicked about Sentry right now, and would just be like checking her over and making sure she's okay, and there's no
Yeah,
big
there's
wound
definitely
or anything.
damage. There's definitely like you can see like parts of her wooden musculature have like been ripped and torn. It's almost like broken branches, and like there's like purple energy that kind of like leaks out a little bit as well, and she's like holding that injured side.
So I imagine this is the most injured I've ever seen.
Probably,
I'm
yeah.
Freaking out.
Okay, so that's Quill. His go, he just runs off into the woods. I am going to try and make a stealth check for him to see if he evades you. Okay. So Ayla, give me a perception check, and Nova, give me a perception check. So you two are the only ones chasing after him at this point.
13.
18.
18. So to both of you, like you're trying to track him through this thick copse of woods. You see him running. He ducks to the side, and almost kind of you like chase after him, and like we'll jump out of initiative here because Ayla, as you rush up to where he is, you're like looking around. You don't immediately see him. Nova, you lose track of him as he runs off. He's vanished for the time, but he couldn't have gone far. So if you wanted to try and track him, that would be probably some sort of survival check, I imagine.
I'd just like to point out as well, I've healed 5 hit points because of my curse on the druid.
Hexblade's curse.
19.
Cool. 19. So you look down and you can see kind of droplets of blood, and you begin kind of tracing those. And you kind of like end up stalking. Give me a quick stealth check just to see if you catch this guy unawares.
Can I aid that by maybe making noise like
Yeah,
somewhere else?
you give me a stealth check as well. And then if you succeed at a DC, I'll give Ayla a bonus.
22.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20, absolutely. So you kind of like, you see where Ayla's going, and you run off in a similar direction, but kind of almost to try and flank. But you make tons of noise, like you're stomping through the ground, snapping branches. Ayla, you slow down, and you kind of take on that, when you've hunted wild game out in the woods with the Aerois, you kind of like slow down, and you bring the warhammer close down to the ground, so you don't have any risk of it like hitting anything, and you begin just crawling. You're kind of slowly stalking your way through the woods. You hear Nova rush past, and you hear like a sudden intake of breath as somebody kind of begins drifting the other way, and he rounds the corner into you as you get ready, and then you just bring the hand. Do you want to knock him out, or do you want to kill him?
Actually, I want to knock him out.
Okay. Yeah. So just give me an attack roll, but you're just going to do non-lethal damage.
20?
Yeah, and he's got 2 hit points left, which I know you can do minimum. So you kind of wait as he kind of rounds in. You just kind of like see him like, and then into the head with the half, like the kind of haft of the hammer, and then he just collapses unconscious to the ground, alive but
Put him over my
unconscious.
shoulder and carry him back.
Okay. You guys are out of initiative.
Holy mama.
So Ayla and Nova return. You see Ayla has got this wild elf on the back of his body. You see corpses all over the place. I mean, this is a site of a bloody massacre. There are people that have been like ripped apart by magic. There have been people that have been torn apart by weapons. Ayla's hammer. Like one guy has his entire head like crushed into the ground.
Are we the bad guys?
And you see this. You see Vala is just basically like sat on the ground, and Yusuf is like just wrapped her arms around her and is just like, it's all right. And she's like kind of like stroking her hair and patting her down. And the kid is just like, you can see that these purple eyes, that when you saw her cast these spells, like pulsed really violently purple, they've now like really dulled, and she's just kind of like really quiet and just kind of holding her hands. She's like, I didn't mean to kill her. Like just kind of whispering to herself.
I'd like to tie this guy up to a tree.
Okay, do you have any rope?
I think I do.
Check your equipment. See if you've got an explorer's pack.
I think I have an explorer's pack.
Yeah, then you probably have 50-foot rope.
Yeah.
In fact, you do, because the session you missed,
Oh,
they
yeah.
all tried to sleep, and I was like, who has bedrolls? Oh, nobody? Oh no, Ayla does. Like, and Lucius tried to get it off you, and I was like, no way she would give that up. Like, not even for money.
Well, depends how much.
It wasn't that much. I think it was like
No.
2 gold or something.
So yeah, I'm going to tie him up to the tree.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a strength check. Just to roll a d20 plus your strength mod. See how tight you can make it.
16.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty fucking tight. So what do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna stand a reasonable distance away from Yusef and Vala, but
So you
just
kind of
when
like-
they stop talking so much, I'm like trying to give a thumbs up to Vala without
Okay.
Yusef noticing.
Okay. Yeah. it takes a while. Like Yusef kind of like calms her down and is like, okay, and she doesn't really leave her alone, but she kind of just sits back and sort of like doesn't like crowd her as much. You try and kind of catch her eye, but like Vala's just looking at the ground or like probably looking towards the dead body and is just like.
I'll try and break that line of sight by
Like
getting on the
into it.
floor and trying to do a thumbs up on the floor.
Her eyes kind of like flicker. Okay. Her eyes kind of flicker and she looks at you and she just kind of like nods.
I do a wave.
And then, yeah, she just doesn't say anything. She just kind of like gives you a little nod and a half smile, but you kind of see it's a little bit forced. And then you kind of hear like a from Yusuf, who's like looking at you.
Oh, I didn't notice you there.
She's just like, I think we just need a moment.
How about, once we've all had moments, we gather as many supplies as we can and get away from this hellhole? Because it's starting to smell.
Supplies is good. Take anything they have.
They also took my rations so the rations that we took from the ship.
Yeah.
They took that as well.
Yeah, well, you guys gonna just scour this camp basically? You just
Yeah.
want to raid it?
Yeah.
Like the barbarians that you are? Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
They took our stuff first.
okay.
And we killed all of them.
I would have done it anyway.
Choose two of you to make investigation checks. Like, who is most likely to be? I think, me personally, I think Nova sounds like she's probably going to do like a big search of like thoroughly looking
I'm with
around.
this
Who
guy.
else? You're checking over that guy. Lucius sounds like you were as well. Like you were suggesting it, so it probably would make sense that you do it. Unless Quill's doing it.
I'm still freaking out a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, Sentry
I'm
is just kind of
surrounded by
like-
bodies and Sentry.
You just knocked my dice.
You want to re-roll?
No, that's not how it works.
14, 15.
14 and 15 is the two of you.
No.
No.
5.
15 is me.
Okay, and you got 5. Okay, Lucius more gets in
Was
the
it
way than helps.
Just like
Lucius
Yeah,
is just kind of
literally.
like, "Ooh, it's so dirty."
I'm gonna
Like, it's
absolutely
filthy.
avoid all bodies.
Yeah.
And just be like, "Ugh," and really skirt.
So you
just
kind of go into
the
their
outside.
settlements. You kind of go into these like wooden shelters, and inside like they smell of like dead animals, sweat, like very strong scented jerky and like tan hides. It's filthy. Like there's mud everywhere. You kind of gingerly like lift up a few things, and it's just like animal hide beds and straw, and it's like. Ugh.
I can imagine people can hear from the outside just muffled noises that I'm making, like, do none of these wild elves know about cologne?
I'm just gonna be like, please stop your whinging. It's been a very long day. Like for the first time, Nova's a little bit kind of fractious and
Yeah.
a bit like
So
tired.
while you kind of say this to Lucius, and then you begin picking your way through. Nova, you don't have any shame. Like you don't have any shame. You don't mind going through their things. Like you kind of see these guys as enemies, and like you're like, we need to survive. Like the survival instincts kind of kick in. Yeah, you find probably enough for about 12 people, like rations for like 12 people for about a week. So that's going to be 12 times 7, 70. 84 days, like individuals worth of rations, and it's things like pretty foul smelling like dried meats, fruits, vegetables, a little bit of grain, but it's kind of like this is like really scavenged forage stuff.
It's food.
And it's probably not in the best condition, but it is food.
at the end of its shelf life.
There's plenty. There's all sorts of like standard supplies, right? Like you find like loads of different water skins. You find like fur throws, cloaks made from like hides and fur, like wolf fur. All sorts of anything that would reasonably be needed to like survive out in this cold wilderness. You find a few things like that do look a bit out of place, like oil lanterns and some flasks of oil. Inside the nearly destroyed one, you find Quill's scroll case with his 2 scrolls.
I'll return to you.
Thank you.
And the only other thing in terms of like money, there's not really a lot of money. How much did you give them before? 50 gold?
Yeah,
Something
it was
like that.
50.
You find about 50 gold in a coin pouch that looks like Lucius's. And the only other thing really of note that you can see is this spear tip that the druid herself was wearing. Everything else kind of just is either regular supplies. You find things like short bows, arrows, spears, that kind of stuff. But that's really all.
I'll probably take the spear tip and yeah, she'd return Lucius's money.
Okay.
Be like,
So you
Oh,
go-
thank
I
you.
found this.
Oh, wonderful. Do you want it? as payment?
Yes.
Maybe I could divvy it out with the group.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Honestly, it's such a burden, and it kind of weighs down one side. You know?
I'm really strong. I could carry it if you want.
That's true.
I like my
There you
cut.
go.
50 gold.
What?
So, I mean,
She'll give Nova 25.
Thank you. that was for like for stealth and the dude. Like I feel like.
Well done,
teamwork.
everybody.
Yeah.
How are you all
like
so
it.
calm?
I like it.
We just killed like
Oh, this is how I'm processing.
we just killed like
Birdie.
7 people. What?
Sentry is going to spend her hit dice, by the way.
Oh, Birdie,
Oh yes,
could you do me a favour?
maybe.
So, I'm going to burn the bodies because it's quite a mess, but I don't want to look at it. So, could you put your wing in front of me and kind of guide me around so that I hit the right spots?
So I watch you pick up the bodies.
No, touchy the bodies. No,
So what do you
I'm
do?
going to firebolt them, all of them.
Individually,
Yes.
while not looking,
Sentry kind of
Yes.
looks over.
in a
it's like,
forest.
I'm not sure. We should. Is burning them what we should do? Is that a custom for these
Would I
people?
know? I would know what the.
I mean, it's
Would
different
I?
clans,
Yeah,
right? Like,
but
what
would I-
what do you want your clan? Like, what would the Aerois ritual be? Would
Could
they
we
be
not
buried?
Could we not ask? And I gesture towards.
He's still
Elf.
unconscious.
I
Yeah.
imagine that because Ayla's home was like on a
Coastal.
cliff near the sea, they would send
Like
them
Viking
out
burial
to sea.
kind of thing.
So
Sweet.
we can't do that here.
But the primes.
Can-
You're not
you
prime.
give me an intelligence check with Ayla. Just D20 plus intelligence.
8.
You've got no idea. You don't even
Yeah.
know this clan. Like, you just like you don't know.
Do
what
any of them have any tartans on them at all,
No.
or anything that identifies them as?
So here's the thing. Now you're looking over the bodies, and you've got a bit of a closer view. None of them have any clan tartan. Most of them seem to have like their tattoos. A lot of them have been scarred over, like it looks like, or they've been removed. Some of them have had tattoos removed, and then they've done new tattoos over the top. You kind of looking at these guys, you get the impression that these guys are probably like exiles, or they've run away from their
Yeah.
clan. And so they've kind of probably been forced to give up the tartan. They've probably
Yeah.
been forced to give up the cloth of their home.
Cremation is the purest form of returning to the energy source of Siaska.
If that is, then very well, which I can help carry them into one pile. If
We
that
could
helps.
also just wait till this guy wakes up and ask him, because I need to ask him a few things.
But the smell, it's only going to get worse.
Well, I
It'll
also,
be fine.
I don't want to alarm everyone, but I did fire a gun in the middle of the forest. I'm not sure if anyone else heard that.
I believe that the leader did say that there was more of them that were on a scouting mission at the time.
Can I like slap this guy awake a little bit?
Yeah, you kind of spend a bit of time, and he kind of groans like, "Ugh." And you can see like his nose is swollen up where you kind of hit him, like a thick bruise is starting to appear, and he seems really groggy, and he kind of like, and it's kind of spits, and he's like looking around like, where, you?
Morning. Hi.
Why haven't you killed me?
Just wanted to make something clear to you first. Don't worry, I'll get there. But if any of your clan, any of your tribe bother us while we're walking through the woods, you know what we're capable of now. Your leader's down.
He tries to look over, like, I'm guessing you positioned him where he can probably see the dead body, right? Like, he looks over, he's like, Kara's dead. Huh. Yeah. You don't have to worry about the rest of us. Without her, I don't even know how we're going to survive out here. Probably have to go find some humans' farm, raid it, take what we need or something.
Where's the nearest farm?
He, gestures his head towards the north. Not many live this close to the woods anymore because of all the raids from us and the clan back home. There's still a few out there trying to make do, use the land. We'll probably find one of their barns or something, take some horses or whatever we can find.
Your clan back home, who are they?
We used to be part of the Callan Root. That's far off to the east, but we're not part of them anymore.
And why not?
What do you think? He looks at you, he's like, you must have had exiles from your place. People that did something that the elders didn't agree with or didn't like, got kicked out.
Just want to know what it is that you did, really.
Well, doesn't matter now, does it?
No, it doesn't. But yeah, let's be clear. You've seen what we're capable of. If anyone else disturbs us, then the same will happen to them.
I'll try and convince any of the others not to go after you, but I won't be coming after you, I'll put it that way. I saw what your friend did. to Vor. He melted him.
Yeah?
I don't want any part of that.
Well, good.
But I can't make promises that the others won't. They'll be mad. They've not seen. I'll do my best to tell them not to. More for their sake than yours.
We happy? We good?
We should probably take some of these things, and I'm pointing to like the wolf skins and the oil and like lantern oil and stuff like that.
Yeah, we should.
He doesn't, like, when you say that, like, in front of, like, he doesn't react to that. Like, that just, he's accepted that that's what you're doing. Like, you're going to take what there's, you know. And Ayla, you would know this, Wild Elves very much often, especially more aggressive Wild Elves, have this kind of culture of, we take what we can. Like, if you're strong enough to take it from us, then fair enough, you've earned it. And this guy just doesn't bat an eyelid, really. Like, he's just, like, looks around, like, tests his... He does kind of, like, flex, but, like, you can see that he's, like, tightly tied. He just kind of, like, slumps in, puts his head up against the tree trunk and just kind of, like, lets out a breath.
We don't care to stay in your area. We're passing through on our way to more important things.
Good.
If you let us pass through, then the rest of your clan will be safe.
Like I said, I'll try my best to convince them not to come after you, but... I mean, they'll be mad. They'll be furious that you've killed the others. But I won't be coming after you, I'll put it that way. I'll leave them if I have to. Strike out on my own.
I'm just gonna peer out from behind Ayla and just be like, out of interest, what burial rituals do your people follow?
He, like, looks at you. Looks at Ayla. Like, just leave them where they are. I'll take care of them. You wouldn't understand our rituals, Ganassi.
Okay, elf. I'm just gonna move back.
Like, eyes you like, yeah, just kind of has this kind of narrowed vision. Looks back to Ayla, he's like, don't do anything with their bodies. I don't know what clan you're from, but we've got our own rituals out here.
Understood.
He just gives you a nod. Like quite a respectful kind of like, good.
I don't have any interest in killing other wild elves. That's not what I want to do, but if they get in my way, then I will.
It's fair enough. To be honest, I don't think that any of us would have, if we knew what you were capable of, I don't think Carla would have, she probably would have tried to get you to help her with something.
And what was that?
Doesn't matter now. Bunch of goblins to the west. Occasionally we clash with them over supplies. She probably would have given you passage through the woods to take care of them, but you've got your passage now.
I'm just gonna hold a blanket out from the side of Ayla, just really slowly, like, do you want this?
He's like tied to a tree. He's like, sure.
Just gonna
Might take the others a few hours to get back to me.
just gently
Shouldn't get too cold.
put it on him.
He just kind of gently, he like looks at you, just gives you a nod.
I'm really sorry, by the way. I just get really angry when people take my things.
He just looks at you, bemused. Sorry for what?
Shooting you?
He just makes a face. What? Quill and Lucius, what are you guys doing at this point?
Lucius has actually gone quite quiet, and
Okay.
he's just kind of bumbling around inside the shelter.
Just like bumbling around. Yeah, like again, you just kind of see that this is, yeah, like just like really harsh survival. Like everything here is built for like weathering like a really fucking cold winter and like
Definitely dawning on Lucius what's just happened,
Yeah.
and where he actually is,
Uh-huh.
that his daddy's not nearby. He's having a little mini internal
not an
breakdown.
internal thing. Okay.
I think I'm actually wandering slightly further away from the camp with Sentry in a way.
Sentry's kind of because I took a short rest with her. She's basically like kind of sat down and is like, I must rest for a minute.
Okay. So she's just going to sit there.
She
in
was
the
like on
middle
8 HP, so like yeah, she like props herself up against a tree. It looks fairly safe, but she just takes like a bit of time.
Yeah, I think I'm like looking at the interrogation that's happening on the tree over there, and like I've got nothing to do over there.
Blanket!
Everyone's already routed the
Securing our
supplies.
safe passage.
There's bodies all over the place.
Yeah, that's the thing is for those of you, and pretty much everybody except Ayla and Sentry. I mean, this is a lot of bodies. Like, you killed 4, 6, 7 people here, and they're all in pretty bad states of like wounds. There's blood all over the ground. There's the smell of like burning flesh, like melting flesh. This is pretty brutal, and you can see Yusuf is kind of looking at the scene in horror, and she's kind
Yeah.
of got like Vala kind of facing away. I
think
you
I'm
can see
gonna sort of-
Vala's just kind of playing with her knife now, like she's just kind of like dragging it around in the dirt.
I think I'm going to sort of mindlessly like wander over to them and not even say anything to them or even look at them. I'm just going to sort of just slump down next to Vala and just like sort of like, look at the ground just in contemplation.
Yeah.
Just mindless, like there's nothing there at the moment.
Yeah. So Vala kind of like she kind of almost like becomes a bit more awake when you kind of sit down, and she kind of looks over and she's just like, I didn't realize that you had a compass, and like she's like pointing at the things that you've got on her and on you and stuff like that. Like, oh, do you know navigation? Do you have maps and things?
Do I maps?
Yeah. You've got you don't have probably maps on you, but you have like navigators tools and things like that.
I've been mapping this area as we've been exploring it.
Where have you been? And you can hear her just like she's making idle conversation because she's just kind of trying to deal with what is going on at the minute.
Well, I mean, we were on the airship and...
Where were you before here?
Poor.
I mean, the last place you were is at Amixan, but before then it was probably Valley of Storms.
Yeah. I've been in the lowlands for a little while before the airship, actually, with Sentry. And I kind of like look back at Sentry, who is just like powered down.
She's just kind of like sat there, and she's not powered down. She's awake. She's looking around, but she's just kind of sat down, and you can see that like the purple energy has stopped like kind of leaking out of her, and she's kind of just attending to the wood, and she's just kind of very quietly, just complete placid metal face, just like being aware of her condition.
Yeah. But we've never, in the time that we were down here, we never saw anything like this place. What about you?
She looks over at Sister Yusuf, and Yusuf is like, no. I am from the lowlands. I was born on a different continent, Elsaref. And no, I met Vala when I journeyed to Sky Cities, the Temple of Siaska. In Horizon, where we met. I spent a lot of time there, a number of years. We were training priests and priestesses in Siaska's name, and Vala was a ward there. She has arcane powers, not controllable all the time. She struggles. A sorcerer or sorceress, I believe they call her. She's learning to manage her powers, and I was put in charge of being her ward. We used to go to bakeries and libraries and shops. It has been a long time. Even in my time at home, nothing like this. And they kind of go quiet for a little bit.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone so young with such powerful abilities.
Vala kind of goes quiet and kind of like looks at the ground and starts like poking at it with a knife. Yusuf kind of looks over to you, is like, it is rare but not unheard of. There are a few individuals each year. The Temple of Siaska and of Hesper often take in such young students because they can become dangerous. At young ages, it is difficult to control emotions, and that can lead to outbursts of power. We've managed to keep those from happening with Vala. She generally has good control over what she can use, but it is dangerous for her to use them. But I think that, and she kind of like puts her arm around her and just kind of pulls her in close. It's like, she did what she had to. It's all right. And she kind of pats her head a little bit.
Can I ask you a question, actually?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, of course.
Do you feel Siaska with you now?
Me?
Yes.
It is difficult with Siaska because of her death. But whenever I can see the stars, and she looks up, and just between the kind of canopy of the trees, because it's still quite late at night, it's like 2, 3 a.m., you can see this kind of like, just really star-filled sky, and you can see the cradle, this kind of aurora borealis effect over the planet. She looks up, and she's like, whenever I see the stars, I can feel her, yes. But sometimes I get vague feelings. Sounds strange, but like a mother cradling... I don't know how Arakoka work, but when you are a child and your mother bundles you up tightly in the cold, wraps a blanket around you, it can feel like that sometimes, but with a presence more than anything.
Okay.
How do you ask? And I apologize, we've been traveling and I do not know your name.
Oh, I'm Kilakad Kalar. My friends call me Quill, so by all means.
Oh,
Just a wild elf that we met earlier said that Hesper wasn't in these lands, and well, I'm starting to believe him.
The low, and she kind of gives you a knowing look. She's like, Hesper. People in the lowlands are sometimes upset that Hesper did not save them after the Sundering, that he favored the elven sky cities, the elven capitals, that the humans and dwarves were left to suffer the consequences. And so some can be difficult when it comes to Hesper, but I do not believe, she kind of gestures around, is like, even the lowlands are full of magic, Master Kolar. I do not believe that Hesper does not have a presence here.
These people are upset.
Does not have a presence here.
These people are upset they didn't get saved. I'm more upset that I did.
Well, I'm afraid that is one that you will have to figure out for yourself, but I'm sure that there must be reasons. And she kind of gives you a kind of like nod, and it's like, I'm happy to talk to you if you have anything on your mind, but perhaps we should not do it here. And she looks over at the piles of bodies. Yeah. Cool. What about you guys? Anybody else want to do stuff?
I think like Nova, in all of this time, Nova's just constantly moving, just like not stopping.
Just constantly checking stuff.
Yeah, that's
like
her
that.
way of kind of dealing with it, by just keeping moving like a shark. Like she's just, gathering all the supplies, making sure people have supplies. Yeah, kind of just like...
Okay. So yeah, you can't possibly carry like all 74 days of supplies, but you can probably give everybody like 3 or 4 days worth.
Why can I hold all these rations?
Yeah, like you've got backpacks and stuff like that and satchels.
All apple pie.
Not quite. It's not Skyrim. You can't just have like a backpack of 200 pies. But yeah, you can carry like, and you can make sure that everybody has like water skins and things like that. But yeah.
Fur.
Generally. Right, I've just got a message that it is break time, and it does seem like a pretty good point to take a break.
Yeah.
So, Kim, before we go to a break, why don't you give everyone a puzzle from Brilliant so they can solve it during the break?
Okay.
Looks complicated.
So this is your brilliant puzzle of the day, and it comes with a visual aid, which Steve will put up in a second. But
There it is.
So that's the visual aid.
Oh.
You step into the dim light of the tavern and are greeted by raucous laughter, the pungent stench of stale ale, and the gaze of the half-orc barman. Welcome to the puzzling wizard, traveller.
Finish.
Why am I on my own?
Well, because we've been cut away.
Okay, all your coins now.
Carry on.
Okay, half-orc barman. Welcome to the puzzling wizard, traveller. We do things a little differently to your average tavern. He gestures to a pile of coins lying on the bar in front of him. If you can answer my little puzzle, I'll give you a flagon of my finest ale on the house. Look at these coins. Tell me, friend, what is the minimum number of moves necessary to rearrange the coins from the configuration on the left, underneath me, to the configuration on the right? It doesn't matter what positions the coins end up in, as long as the configuration looks like the one on the right. When you are sliding a coin, it may not push any other coins, and you must move it to a position where it is touching at least 2 other coins. Good luck.
Good luck.
Hello. Hi.
There you go. There's your brilliant puzzle to solve during the break, which we're going to take now.
See ya.
Enjoy the fan art video again.
Bye.
Hello, welcome back to High Rollers. I'm the Dungeon Master, Mark Sherlock Humes. We're back here after the break. We're going to do the puzzle solution at the end of the stream, so we can jump back in. All of you adventurers, have just defeated the Wild Elves that you had attempted to break into their camp and take your items back. You've killed their leader. Success.
Great success.
You have basically killed most of the camp, excluding one wild elf, kind of scout-looking fellow who managed to run away. Ayla captured him, brought him back alive, and tied him up to a tree. Vala, the young girl that had basically, under Lucius's encouragement, had snuck off to basically help steal the sword and the arcane focus in that back, delivered the killing blow to the druid woman, the kind of leader, this Kala woman, and yeah, you basically, we returned at this stage where you guys are just about to leave this this camp, this wild elf camp.
Corin, wasn't not Yusuf? I've come out of this shelter now, and I've just started wandering around.
Yeah, you
looking
left.
at the floor.
Corin was left with Arvel, and at the mention of his name, Yusuf looks at Vala and is like, "What, Corin? Did you?" And she's like, "I snuck off," and yeah.
How about we reconvene as a big party away from this place?
Yes, we should. Yes. And the two of them kind of pick themselves up, and Vala kind of just looks at the ground and kind of shuffles her feet a little bit, and just seems to follow. Yeah, you guys just want to head back?
I think so. So we're going to head back to them, and I think our plan was to then head off to the east so we can get to the river and then follow that down to some form of civilization, I suppose.
Okay.
Civilization.
North
nice.
is where we're generally headed, right?
Yeah, north was to
Tom,
Goldthrone.
Mike, is it plugged in?
No.
This guy.
How does he do it? How? We've been doing this for years.
Literally years.
He takes over our
Every time we take a
shots,
break.
sits in our shot, doesn't plug in his mic.
Hi everyone, I'm back. So our plan was...
Do you need to go for a wee?
No, I'm good, I'm
Okay.
clear. I'm clear of...
I will turn this car around.
Wait, so our plan was to head back to them guys, and then we were going to go east to the river, and I think
Follow the river.
follow the river
to the
north ways towards Goldthrone.
Okay. So you can easily track, with Ayla's help, you can easily track your way back to Arvel and Corin, who, when you return, you see Arvel kind of like propped up, and he's kind of like not sleeping, but kind of like resting his eyes. And he's just like, "Meh," and he sees you guys coming. But Corin isn't really around. When Arvel sees Vala, he's like, "You damn girl, that fella's gone looking for you off in the damn woods." But it doesn't, luckily he doesn't seem to have gone far, because upon hearing sign of the commotion, Corin eventually kind of comes out of the bushwork and is just like, "Don't run off!" And just like looks, he's like, "It's dark, I couldn't see a thing. I didn't know where you'd gone." And he's just, you can see he's like, doesn't know what to make of himself. Like, and he's covered in like dirt and twigs from like kind of pulling through bushes and, you know, obviously being unable
We're
to
going to
see.
let Yusuf deal with Corin, I think.
Yeah, so she goes over and talks to him and kind of drags Vala with her as well. And there is kind of like a head-bowed teenager apology of like, "I'm sorry, I just wanted to help." And
What a quirky bunch.
Yeah.
they are.
I'm just going to go up to Lucius and be like, do you think she's grounded?
Oh, absolutely.
That sounds
we're
like
all
a grounded voice.
we're all grounded.
No.
You see what I mean? I did a little funny there.
Oh, the funny.
Yes, because I come from the islands above.
Yes.
We're very aware.
We're never going to forget that.
I feel like you made that joke yesterday.
Yeah.
What day is it?
Literally
Honestly,
just
It might have been a few hours ago, actually.
Arvel looks over. So, judging by your all, well, you ain't looking like the peakiest bunch. Didn't go so well.
Went fantastic.
Well, probably would for
well.
you, yeah.
to look at the positives, I have my focus back. We have rations, and you have your sword.
Well,
We killed a lot of people, though.
yeah, that's never an easy thing to live with, boy, but that's just the way of things sometimes around here.
I acid splashed a person to death.
It was great.
That's
was
what
awful.
happens when you throw acid.
First time you've had to kill someone, Lucius.
Yes.
It's a hard thing to live with. I mean, you just got to know that those people probably would have, well, if they caught you in a similar situation, they probably would have killed you too.
I don't know, I had a lot of gold.
Oh.
That's the problem I'm kind of dealing with
They
right now.
didn't want gold. They wanted magic. They wanted power.
And we got this and that for about 6 or 7 lives. Is that worth it?
Yes.
That's what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, but to be honest, you're quite lucky that you're still alive because they absolutely would have killed you. So think about it this way. The focus, the sword, and your lives.
They left us to die.
Well, they left us to survive on our own, which is what they're capable of doing.
Yusuf looks over and is like, I must agree with Master Elanasto at this point. It did feel that perhaps extreme measures were taken. They left us, or they left you alive by taking your things. You have robbed them of something far more permanent. But
Yes,
I understand that it was a difficult choice. And you can see that Vala has gone very deathly quiet amongst this whole conversation. She's just kind of lurking near Yusuf and Corin.
I tried to reason with them, though. I asked. I said. They took Tiangong from me.
I'm sure that whatever that sword means to you is very important, but...
It would be as if they took Vala from you.
And I can understand why you took your actions, but that still does not completely erase the issue in my mind. But that is beyond the point. We have crossed onto this path now, and we must simply do our best to return to civilization and put this behind us where we can.
Yes, let's not end up like them. No offense.
Arvel looks over and is like, you can't just say no offense when you're saying something offensive, boy.
What do you mean?
Yes, that.
You're not quite like them, though. Not quite as smelly.
That's still pretty offensive.
What do you mean?
You're being really offensive.
Am I? Oh, I'm sorry. I genuinely didn't mean to. You're not like them at all.
I just don't care.
Oh, good.
don't care.
So she's not offended.
Other people might be, though, and that could result in your face getting smashed in.
Yeah,
Oh.
that is a good point. If we come across people like this, they're not going to take too kindly to you. Even if you say no offense, they're probably still.
Oh, I'll just offer them coin. That's what I do.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't say anything.
I worry
awful.
about you.
What happens
In-
if your
in this
coin runs
environment.
out?
What? Coin? Run out.
Daddy's
What a
not
novel
here to give you
concept.
anymore.
What happened if you were stuck in the lowlands? Let's conduct a scientific thought experiment right now. Say
Yes,
you were
let's do that.
stuck in the
That's
wilderness, in the lowlands,
Yes.
for the next 100 days, and you lost all your money on day 3. How long would you survive?
Well, this is a science brain experiment. 100 days is ridiculous. Daddy would find me by then. You'd probably
What if
find
he
me
doesn't find you? That's the parameters of the experiment. He doesn't find you, and you have no money.
Well, this is such an absurd circumstance. I can't possibly think logically beyond Daddy not saving me in a few days.
I calculate the probabilities would be you'd be dead within 2.5 days.
2.5.
That's a bit much. I wouldn't give him that. Less.
Lucius, when we crashed, how long did you think it would take for your daddy to find you?
Well, it's only been a day, right?
But when we crashed, how long did you think it was going to be?
Well, immediately, but he's probably quite busy with meetings and such.
Busy enough to...
Well, buddies like you are probably just whisking away right now, flitting to Gusthaven to tell Daddy that an airship's gone down and his little sonny is stranded with a strange bunch of people.
Again, that thing where you keep saying things, I don't think you realize that you're saying things that might cause offense.
What like?
I don't know, I'm kind of strange.
I was talking about
Anyway.
the Wild Elves we just butchered in cold blood.
Yes.
Those
Speaking
are
of
strange
those, speaking
people.
of those, we should probably move because although we did really scare that guy and kill all of his friends, his leader, and he did say that he wouldn't come after us, I don't believe that, so we should probably keep moving. I don't think we have safe passage.
Sounds pretty smart idea to me.
Let's go to that town that Arvin was that
Well,
came from.
I mean, yeah, it depends where we are, but if we're in Savona and we're in the Bitterwood, then yeah, if we can head north. The problem is I need some sort of landmarks, things that I can get bearings where we might be.
Goblins to the west.
That's not a big
that
help.
helpful?
Nah.
Farmland
Also,
in the
farmland
north?
towards the north.
A river to the east?
River and farmland. That could be the White Breeze, the river.
White breeze?
We're going
Yeah.
to follow that north.
If we follow that north, then it's been a long time since I was this far south, but I think there's a town called Rose Hall to the north. If we follow the White Breeze, it reaches the Rosewater Lake. Rose Hall's about a day's travel south of there. There'll probably be farm towns, real small, couple of plantations, outcroppings, that sort of thing. Probably be a few of those, but the first major settlement will be Rose Hall, I think.
Do they make trade with the islands above?
Rose Hall's just a little bit off the main path. They'd probably send their goods up to Gold Throne, Trent, and sell them all there. But it's a good trade town. It's on the edge. It'll be a decent place. We'll probably find a good bed.
And if there's trade routes, they must be safe?
As safe as the lowlands can be. I mean, they'll have the harvest guard. The harvest guard will, if they're patrolling the roads, they'll keep monsters and goblins and wild elves from attacking.
So if we get to Rose Hall, we'll have shore passage to Goldthrone.
Excellent.
Sounds reasonable to me. If that's where we are.
If that's where we are.
That sounds wonderful.
All right, let's get moving.
Yep, let's keep going.
Okay, so you trek through the wilderness. Go on.
Just a little player question. You said that I got 84 days worth of rations?
No.
Single days.
You could. There were 74, but there's
74.
no way you could carry all of them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to divide them.
So each individual that was there could probably carry 3 or 4
Okay.
each. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of you plus
There's-
Sentry plus Yusef plus Vala.
There's
so
8 in the party that eat.
yes,
Sentry
because Sentry doesn't. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody gets 3-4 days rations?
Yeah, I'd say 3 or 4 days. Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
Which is enough to get to where are we going?
Yeah, you think based on what Arvel tells you, it's probably about 3 or 4 days travel. It's probably about on closer to 4 days than it is 3.
But by which time
to
we'll...
head up north. It would also depend on you want to go towards the river, right? So Ayla and Quill, you guys would probably know this. Like, I mean, obviously, one of the things that slows you down is travel, is needing to rest and becoming tired. If you could find, or if you could make some sort of raft or like do boats or something like that, you could use the river to travel faster. Like you wouldn't need to rest as much, but you would obviously need to either build something or find something.
Yeah, and I guess the river would be...
Interesting.
If it's a named river, it's going to be big enough for...
Yeah, I mean, you saw it from above. It's pretty massive. It's like a big
okay.
sort of like huge river coming down from the mountains and flowing out to the sea. So it's going to be pretty big.
Oh, we can have a little bath here.
Yes, in the river. In the big, fast-flowing river.
Would it be fast flowing?
I imagine so. It's coming down from the mountain.
So, who is leading the party through the wilderness?
It's nighttime. I can't see.
So that would be Ayla then. So Ayla, you can give me a survival check. Would anybody like to assist?
I can as an elf.
Sure. Yeah.
Could
So
I-
survival check from Lucius to see if you can give a bonus to Ayla.
Could I assist with my passive
10.
hearing? Not really. Okay, that makes sense.
Sort
Only
of.
got- only
That's more for like keeping out of the way of monsters, not
Yeah.
really stopping you getting lost.
Can I assist with science?
10.
10, 5.
I rolled
Even with the
2.
bonus, you're not quite sure what it is. It's maybe a little bit of these being unfamiliar lands, perhaps a little bit of disorientation from the fight, but you kind of lose track of your way a little bit, and it actually takes you a few more hours than you expect. Can you roll a D100 for me, please, Katie?
What about my compass?
The compass helps you like go like we're going east,
Yeah.
but like the paths that you take, like Ayla leads you into like a really thickly kind of covered like with
I
bush
see.
and stuff like that, and you have to backtrack and make your way around.
40.
40, okay. So as you're making your way through the wilderness, it's really late at night. You guys took a long rest so that you went into the camp at midnight, and then you've had the fight, and by the time that all finished, it was probably about 2 a.m. So you're trekking your way through these woods, pitch black night. Yusuf can provide a little bit of magical light with this kind of starlit holy symbol, and
Dancing lights for
dancing
me.
lights can kind of cover it. And as you're making your way through the woods, you definitely hear a lot of activity, especially Quill. You hear the howling of wolves off in the far distance. You hear animals like scurrying around, like just outside of the light's radius. You can hear things like rustling in the bushes and moving around.
Okay. I can see red eyes.
Yeah. And pretty much all of you see this, but you notice you are being watched and being followed. A small creature, probably no taller than about 3 foot, long, ragged ears, kind of scrapped fur and leather clothing, little knives kind of tucked on its belt, and it's crawling through and it's following you as you move through, and it's just kind of watching you.
You all notice this?
Big yellow eyes. You can see, like, you occasionally catch as the light catches it, like peering from out of like these bushes, like this, and then as you see it, like.
So he's not even super stealthy. It's like
No,
relatively obvious.
whatever this creature is it's trying to be stealthy and failing.
How does he look particularly? I guess you said he had knives, but like
Sharp ones?
I guess not super dangerous.
You haven't seen him exactly in detail. You don't know if it's him or a her. It's just, yeah, like this little 3 foot tall figure, ragged kind of clothing.
But we know there's goblins around.
And I mean, it looks like a goblin, right? Like, it's got big yellow eyes. You can kind of see, like, little kind of scruff hair, like, kind of really dreadlocked and matted, but it's kind of, like, got, like, almost like black kind of, like, soot or coal all over its face to try and help it blend in. But it's just really bad at moving around quietly. You hear it, like...
Is it just Quill?
No, everybody sees this thing, like, that's how bad it is. Like, you'll, like, occasionally, like, could look over, and it'll just be, like, staring at you from in a bush, and then it's like...
I assume you've all seen that creature.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm already sketching it.
What do we do?
There's probably more of them.
What's the protocol?
I don't really know. Would I have ever dealt with goblins? Probably not.
Probably, well, it depends, right? Like, the problem with goblins is, what you know about goblins is that they're kind of, they're not quite a remnant. Like, they were, when they first arrived on Aerois, they were part of the armies for, like, Calistarbane and, like, this great kind of, like, invasionary force. And then after the Sundering and, like, Callus got driven back, they kind of just got, like, fragmented, and, like, nobody really knew, like, none of the remnant really wanted them around because they're kind of useless. So a lot of goblins and bugbears kind of just went off into the mountains and, like, formed these little tribes and became, like, they're kind of like a nuisance. They're like, you know, they kind of live in places, they're like bandits. They're just like these little shitty nuisances that kind of come down and they steal your pigs and they, like, ruin things.
Raccoons.
They're like
Trash
more
pandas.
intelligent like raccoons, yeah.
Trash pandas.
They're like
Trash goblins.
but they're like trash. They're like trash pandas that will literally kidnap kids, murder you,
Wow.
and steal your stuff.
That's some pretty bad trash pandas.
Yeah, they're pretty bad trash pandas.
And we all know this.
Yeah, they are a threat as well. Like, they're kind of like, a lot of people make jokes about them and they're kind of seen as a joke. But you've also probably heard of stories of, like, no, these fuckers will, like, shiv you and leave you for dead if they catch you unawares. Like, if you know that if you know they're there, you can deal with them because they're known for being cowardly and they're known for being a bit incompetent. But if they do catch you, they can be pretty nasty.
Aerois, why don't you just scare it off?
Well, I just hope it doesn't jump out and attack us, because then we'd have to give up the information about the treasure that we found to the north.
What treasure?
The one we found where we came from, the treasure, lots and lots of gold. There were sheep and cows there too, I believe. I just really hope it doesn't jump out.
To the north? What are you talking about, Quill?
There were big fat cows and pig and loads of children there too. It was odd.
For the podcast listener, Mark, as the goblin, is making a face of intrigue,
I love it. I
but
love Mark's goblin
also
face.
mild lack of intelligence.
I mean, you glance over and you can see, you don't see it probably, but you maybe see, like, its foot, like a boot, like a kind of, like, worn, kind of oversized, like, adult boot, like, sticking out of, like, a bush. And you just hear, like, these confused noises of, like...
I mean, that's what would happen if it
Making this
came out
noise
and...
made for the
The quasit, yeah.
Homunculus. That's my
yeah.
small creature noise.
I honestly don't understand.
If it came out,
Did you just roll an intelligence check?
then we
Right,
would...
can I do that?
Yeah, sure. Or you could just decide that Lucius doesn't get what Quill's doing.
If it came out,
I've not seen a single cow or piggy.
There was loads. You were there. You saw all the children frolicking around. Those fat.
You sure it's not
fat
all the gold
children.
that's just on me?
On
Arvel
you.
Oh, okay.
just starts loading his crossbow.
Yeah, I just got the hammer.
Like he stops, like kind of props his splintered leg up on the side, starts winding the crossbow light leaves back.
Okay, so how many are there?
This one, like
Right.
literally, this just one is just following you. It's just like, it just looks like it's following you. Like, I mean, with your passive, you're not even sure it can understand these things you're saying. It's just like following you. It looks like it's listening, but like it doesn't show any sign that it's understood anything you've said.
It's like Lucius.
Mini me.
Wow.
I guess. I mean, if it's
Should we just carry on? This thing does not seem like it's. It looks like it's just following us. Perhaps it's lost.
Maybe it's
Can
low.
I walk over closer to it?
Yeah. Okay. Give me a stealth. Are you trying to be
No.
sneaky? No. Okay. So you probably get like within about 10 feet before it realizes, and then you just hear. And then scrambling off into like the night, just like.
But that was easy.
Bye.
Very easy.
Cool. Continue.
Yes.
I mean, do we know?
Can I keep an eye out?
Sure.
Or
Yeah, give me a perception check.
12.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of like you wait for a second, you kind of listen out. You don't hear anything, and then you start making your way again, and
No, there's 10 of them.
It's
not tribbles.
Only God.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you make your way, and yeah, you don't Quill, you don't see it or hear it. The rest of you don't see it or hear it again. It just seems to have like either Ayla scared it off or it's vanished, and you carry on. It does take
Sure, that
you.
wasn't notable in any way. Let's carry on.
It's probably the sun is probably rising by the time you begin to hear the sounds of the river, and you know that you've gotten yourselves turned around, even using the compass and things like that. Like you've had to backtrack through like areas where the forest kind of dips down too low, and you either have to climb up or you have to backtrack round through thick brush and things like that. You also probably try and avoid like animals like bears and stuff like that. So you kind of, when you get a sense that they're nearby, you backtrack again. And yeah, it probably takes you like most of the like morning. So the sun is just beginning to rise when you hear the sound of this very large river, and you can hear the kind of like the flow of the water kind of crashing down. You can see some like waterfalls like far off in the distance back up into the mountains, and this very wide river flows out into the north, and you can see that it's very crystal clear water. It's occasionally interspersed with rocks and like kind of steep banks, but it kind of winds its way through the forest and then heads out to the north.
On the way, I'm gonna go to Sentry. It's like, oh, look at you, it's such a mess. I'll do what I can on the way to just do little mendings. And,
Yeah, I mean, most
pull
of
out
her
branches
armor
and
is
stuff.
fine. Her injuries have healed for the most part, but there's like a few scuffs and scrapes. And she's like, thank you, Lucius.
Can't have you looking like that. Not in my company.
I thank you very much. I normally would have to rely on wizards or artificers to repair me, and I'm grateful that you are here.
That's right. I can only do the beautiful aspects of it.
No, I am very appreciative. It was in my... needed to present myself well in my previous duties, so I am very grateful for your help.
Previous duties.
She's like, yes.
I'm sure you'll explain to me some other time.
I believe that we have more important things to focus on.
Quite. I like the sound of that water up ahead.
Yeah, and you're just going to follow the river north. Like, you can see that like it does wind its way through the forest for most of it, and then it seems to, yeah.
So what time is it now? I guess
It's like early morning, like 8
morning.
a.m. But yeah, you've already kind of, basically you've done like a big load of traveling, so you're probably starting to feel a bit hungry, you're probably starting to need like, things like breakfast and stuff like that. And you are tired, like there is physically tiring kind of trekking through the woods.
and I suppose it's relatively tranquil here.
Seems to be.
Well,
Seems to be. Okay.
now that we're near the river, Birdie, you could catch us all some fishies.
Actually, this beak is not the right for it. Really,
He's the wrong species.
It's the wrong species. Sorry.
Oh.
Maybe you could. You've got tools
I
and
could probably
things.
catch the fish.
Excellent. That's who you meant, right, Birdie?
I just meant you do something.
Incidentally, I'm just going to hold up my notebook. Just for my notes here, for my travels and all that. What is your name?
Oh, my name.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Have I not said my name?
You don't
Birdie.
have Birdie.
Well, I'm Kilek Adkalar.
What?
Has no one asked? Have I not introduced myself?
No.
Corin looks over, he's like, I asked.
Thank you. He asked.
In fact, I'm not sure if we've all shared our names. Well, some of us have, I believe, but...
How rude. Let's all do introductions. You start.
Okay, well, I'm Kilek Adkalar. I am an Aarakocra. Can you believe it?
Birdie.
Yes. My friends call me Quill. And
Quill.
at this point, I like glance at Ayla and I imagine it's like a death stare.
No, I'm just.
She's just intense all the
Okay.
time. It's not a death stare, it's just
Not a death
intensity.
stare. It's just.
It's not as well crafted as a Death Stare.
Yeah.
Well, Sentry calls me Quill.
Hi, Quill.
Hi, Nova. I remember that much. You next, I suppose.
I'm Nova. Hi.
Nova, you've got a surname?
Viger.
Beeger. Fascinating. That's a lovely name.
Corin looks over, is like, that's a Vortensar name, I believe, yes?
A what?
Vortensar.
What's that mean?
It's a city.
Oh, lovely.
It's my city.
Whereabouts?
In the...
Does it float?
No.
Doesn't float.
It used to.
What?
And then your buddies, old buddies, really old buddies, brought it here, and it doesn't float.
What on earth are you talking about?
Did you never hear of the Jasavir experiment?
The what?
The Jasavir experiment. You're educated. You should have been taught this.
Yes, by factual things, this sounds bizarre.
It.
So you had a floating island.
Do they maybe not
Start
teach
looking
you
for
guys
something
about
to
this?
fish with.
Okay.
Maybe it's
Do you have
selective
anything?
education.
No.
Okay.
I have to make something.
Give me a survival check.
Just walked off.
5. So Ayla just walks off, like while you're having this conversation.
6.
You try and go through your pack and find things like, but you don't really have like a line. Like you have rope, but nothing to actually make
I
like.
have a hunting trap.
I mean, that's like a bear trap.
Yeah.
That's like a pedal bear
tie
trap.
some
Not
rope
good
to
for
that.
fish.
I got a javelin.
Yeah, so
Apparently.
you would probably try and fish with a javelin. Like you're literally trying to spear fish.
javelin.
So
Have
you go
javelin.
to the edge of the riverbank, and you can see that it's this very wide-looking river, and there are fish. There's like salmons or like some sort of like mountain like fish swimming through. Do you want to try and wade out and just try and like spearfish a few things?
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay. So while Ayla's doing that, so Lucius, with you can make a history check, but if you can choose that Lucius just wasn't taught this stuff.
I'll go with the roll. So, 16.
16. When Nova talks about it, like the Jasper experiment, it does kind of ring bells. It's very ancient Elven history, because it's basically one of the original Elven cities from the Founding Age went missing, and in its place, it kind of vanished. It teleported the whole city away, and in its place,
In the Sundering.
no, this was before.
Yeah.
This was before the Sundering. This was many centuries before. This city was experimenting with planar magic, and it vanished. And in its place, this whole other city full of these elemental beings, the Ganassi, appeared. And there was a bit of like tension of potential. There was like little battles and sieges and wars as they thought that they were like being kidnapped. But eventually it was kind of worked out. But yeah, it kind of rings some bells that it was an ancient elven, and it's kind of become one of these kind of legends of like this ancient elven city that was extremely magical and had lots of knowledge of planar magic just vanished, and it's nobody knows where it's gone.
How fascinating. You must tell me everything you know.
So while you guys are doing that, yeah,
Can I still be within range so I can kind of hear their conversation?
yeah, you're kind of off the side. I'm guessing that these guys are like resting on the bank of the
Yeah.
river. Give me an athletics check.
Oh no. Ugh, why do I keep rolling 2s? 8.
8. So you wade out, and you're like, ugh, for fuck's sake, and you're kind of like annoyed at those guys, and you're wading out, and with the javelin, you're kind of trying to wait, And I mean, this is a really strong river. Like the current is actually pretty strong, and like you can't wade out too far because it gets pretty deep. And you spear probably like a couple. You try and catch a couple of fish. You miss the first few times. You maybe catch like one, but then you kind of slip a little bit and you plunge into the water. Like you kind of get dragged into this kind of current. Give me a strength saving throw.
I feel like I've looked away, like I'm expecting her. She'll be fine.
Yeah, she's
Like a
capable.
child, like.
24.
Okay, so you manage to pull yourself up, you gasp for breath, and you just literally like grab onto like the nearest rock and haul yourself up, but you are currently completely drenched with water.
Meanwhile, I'm just
And
babbling
you're just like
away.
pulling yourself like up onto the bank, like "Ah."
I'm still going on about high elves.
But I got a fish though.
One fish.
That's my breakfast. Sorry.
So a very soppy, very soggy looking Ayla comes back over. Corin has probably got a fire going, like he's probably got like a basic fire going, and he's kind of like working on that.
I feel like Quill actually laughs when he sees her.
Just like this, like the hair, like
Now
the red
you'll
hair
see
is like plastic. Like this little kind of bird laughs. And there's a moment where you kind of look over and you can see Yusef kind of smirks a little bit, and it's the first time she's actually kind of like looked moderately amused in a while, like since the battle with the Wild Elves. And you can see like Vala kind of like looks up and is like wiping like her eyes and stuff, and you can see that she's kind of like, she smiles as well. But you kind of like stop over, and then they don't say anything. They quickly kind of like turn back. Yusef probably like pulls out a blanket and is like, would you care for this, Miss Ayla? Help dry off?
Thank you. Yeah.
She hands over this blanket, and you kind of patting yourself down as you cook
It's a
this fish.
strong river. Don't go in there. Just as a.
Looks like it.
No, that sounds very wise. Thank
Yep.
you for letting us
I
know.
tested that. It's fine. It's all good.
Excellent.
Don't go into the river or you'll end up like Ayla.
So what about the rest of you? Are you guys just going to have your rations? Some
I
rations?
am Lucius Viren Eluminelalasto.
Slower.
We're still here. Are we still in this conversation?
Apparently so, yes.
You're next.
Ayla, thanks. Let's move on. It's fine.
Please introduce yourselves.
What clan are you from?
The Aerois.
The what now?
It's a very long story. Technically not that clan. I don't actually know. Let's leave it at that. I'm not sure.
Okay. I'll make a note of that.
Yeah.
You seem to take a lot of notes, Miss Vigier. Are you a scholar of some kind?
V'ger.
My apologies,
V'ger.
Vigier.
Yeah, I'm a scientist. Hi.
A scientist? I'm not familiar with the term. Is that a Ganassi term?
I look at the stars.
Ah,
I look at where we are.
an astrologist.
Yes.
Ah, fascinating. I am Sister Yusuf of the Church of Siaska. I'm originally from El Seraph, but most recently I was in Horizon, the Sky City. This is Brother Corin. He's like, he waves. You can see he's like cooking up, like, he's probably like got some mushrooms from like the foraging, from the Wild Elf camp, and he's kind of like got a small pot out and he's kind of cooking the mushrooms.
Are they
in that
all
city.
high elves?
No, they're humans. Brother Corin and Sister Yusuf are human. Vala is also human.
And what age?
So Sister Yusuf is probably about in her mid-20s, maybe late 20s. Dark skin, dark black hair. She wears like a headscarf, and she wears Star Mourner robes, so Siaska priestess robes. Corin has the same robes, but he has cropped blonde hair and like a small beard, like
Same
a short
age?
beard. Yeah, about the same age.
Mid-20s.
Yeah, and he kind of like awkwardly waves as he's kind of like cooking these mushrooms. He's like, "Hello, yes, I'm Corin from Horizon. I grew up there my whole life. I was an orphan, but the church took me in." He just kind of awkwardly, "Hello, I'm literally just a priest," and then goes back to cooking.
Just a priest.
You've read a lot of books, right?
Brought up on them. My professor always says that if you got time to complain, you got time to read.
That is a rather remarkable way of life, I believe, actually.
Oh, I complain a lot. I should have done a lot of reading. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
You read about Wild Elf clans a lot.
probably. I lost a lot of my books in the last town.
What town?
Wherever we were before.
Oh,
Imexan.
That makes sense.
I had to trade in some. I had to send them back home because I don't know what you guys are like, but you know when you just stay somewhere and there's books, you just buy them and then read them, and then you're trying to travel, but you have too many books, so I send them home.
Yes, no.
No,
Yeah, no.
just me. Okay.
That makes you very special and unique.
I may be naive, but I'm not dumb.
What? I don't. Well, you read so much. How would you be dumb? It doesn't make sense.
I feel like you're taking the Mickey out of me.
Taking the what?
The Mickey.
Taking the piss.
Yeah.
Oh no, not at all. No, does it come across that way?
Yes.
Sentry looks at you and is like, it did not to me.
Well, thank you. It says Sentry gets it.
But I do find most of you difficult to read. You do not have the same responses as other guardians and people I knew.
That's fair. Have you seen this tartan in any of your books? I show her the tartan I have on my belt.
You can make a history with disadvantage.
Lucky for you, I am +4 in history. Bad luck for you, I rolled a 9. 10, 11, 12, 13.
It's one of those things of like, yeah, like you're racking your brains. Yeah, I mean, you've seen, you know that tartan, this kind of like cloth is very important to Wild Elves, designates clans and things like that. You couldn't identify it as a particular thing. Like you just know that that is a symbol of a clan. Like,
I'm really sorry. I'm better with stars and physics and astral bodies.
It's fine, it's fine.
But I'll definitely keep looking though.
Thank you.
If we ever get back to Vortensar, I definitely have a book though that I could look up on.
Well, I'm hoping that some of these fancy sky cities have some kind of answer.
Ooh.
I've never been there.
Actually,
should.
I rifle around in my pack and I hold up what looks like essentially a library card. I have access to libraries everywhere. If we get to another city, I could go and look, and I'm allowed in.
That's amazing.
People aren't allowed into what? They're just
No,
books.
I'm allowed into the special areas.
There's special areas in that.
yes, in some places that there are books of particular subjects that some of the sky cities do not believe should be accessed by others.
Well, that seems stupid. Why do they keep them?
Because some knowledge is perhaps not best suited to all people, I believe.
In the wrong hands.
Yes, magical,
goblins.
Mainly concerning things like magic or
Planar magic.
yes, or magic involving some of the powers of starbane
like-
and such.
If you don't want people to know that, you should just burn the books.
Oh, it's still good to know.
I mean, is it though?
Yes, so
You
that we know
can't
how
burn
to avoid it.
books!
I mean, you can.
That's criminal! All of the knowledge you'd lose!
That's true.
But you can make a really nice toasty fire.
But the fire would only last for as long as there is fuel in it, whereas knowledge can light your brain forever.
Okay.
Awful's like, yep. See how far knowledge gets you when you're freezing to death out in the woods.
He gets it.
Got me this far.
Yep, because you've had other people to make a fire for you, you darling. I mean, I don't mean
Shall
no
I
disrespect.
take that blanket back then?
It's not that guy that's got the blanket.
I give everyone blankets.
You don't have that many blankets.
Oh, I thought I would have doled them out. Fine, there's rations then.
I mean, yeah, he's just like, by all means, if you want to take it from the man who broke his leg by falling out of an airship, go ahead.
Good idea not to.
But
not
all I'm
actually going
saying,
to do it.
all I'm saying is that different people have different priorities depending on their situation. I've been around a long time. Knowledge is fine and dandy, and it's nice when you got a nice cushy city to live in, but folks like Miss Ayler over here, that ain't how things operate in the lowlands, not all the time.
But I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying I'm going to help her find her tartan.
And
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That's all I have to say on that matter.
Well, 2 days. Just before I die, apparently, according to your experiment, Daddy will swoop in. You can all come to Gusthaven for dinnies.
That sounds great.
Why?
It's never going to happen.
Why are you joining us if
Huh?
you could have just stayed in one place?
What do you mean?
You could have stayed where you landed. And just
We didn't
waited.
exactly land.
What if Daddy went to the airship? Oh no, he's waiting there.
He is very clever. and he would have his scouties with him, and they would notice our tracks, and that the Wild Elves came and tried to take us away and kidnap us. He'd figure that all out, and he'd know that we'd be heading towards the town.
Would we know if is your family name famous? Like,
Elenaster?
Quill note, yeah,
Yeah, I know.
I think we did this in like a previous episode, and Quill knew about it.
Okay.
But we're walking further away from where Daddy will save you.
Did I not just make myself clear?
That they will
Did I
find
stutter?
us. It's just, has this possibility crossed your mind?
I don't want to face reality, Will. So let's just smile, catch some fishies.
That's fine.
And
In that
move
case,
along.
Mr. Collar, I believe that it might be best if Mr. Elenasto comes with us to Gold Throne. At Gold Throne, he will be able to send a message to his father.
oh, of course. Maybe he'll be waiting for you at Rose Hall.
Maybe.
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 I feel like
Almost
you're building
definitely.
hopes. You're
Arvel
building
is shaking his head like,
As long as
Don't-
I build his hopes
don't-
to the...
Every time we
can
we're coming
hear
to a
you.
city, every time we come into a
Absolutely.
city and Daddy is not there, we're gonna have to deal with it.
As long as he loses hope in a city rather than losing hope out
That-
here.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, it's-
It might be close.
literally like, yeah, he's looking at you.
He'll be there.
He might be.
He'll definitely be there.
I'm losing faith in our cohesion as a group, and I'm worried. I think Sentry is the only one with any sort of
Sat there
optimism.
very, like, just like robot face, just like, I am very confident that we will arrive where we need to go.
Thank you, Sentry. This is the kind of attitude we need, this kind of expression.
Brother Corin is just like, well, I've fried up a bit of some of that bread and mushrooms we found. Had to go with any of that dried meat.
Excellent. See?
Great.
Any other everyone say a little positive thingy, and then together we have lots of positives.
Okay. Well,
I have fish.
You have a fish, and you've had a bath of some kind.
Yes, quite refreshing.
Birdie?
well, we're out of the woods and we're on the way to civilization.
Yes? Excellent. Nova?
As my professor always said to me, for me, it is far better to grasp the universe as it really is than to persist in delusion, however satisfying and reassuring.
That was a lot of words.
I don't actually know if that was positive or negative.
I stopped listening
lost track.
almost instantly.
Knowledge is a positive thing, and she was taught something. That means she's educated, which means she has learned something and it's enhanced her life.
Which means we are all smarter for having Nova here.
Exactly. She's got knowledge.
Aw, you guys.
Yes. And you're all with me, and I've got money. That is coming. Excellent.
Go team!
Wait, your positive is that Daddy is coming.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I've got his briefcase.
Please, Mr. Collar, please.
No,
Let's just have this food.
What's your positive thing?
Yes, Arvel.
I'm not dead, but thanks to y'all, I've just got a broken leg and a bleeding something.
Bleeding.
I'm not bleeding anymore. Let's put it that way.
something's leaking.
I mean, we get back to Gold Throne. You come by my estate. I'll make sure you get a lovely
You
dinner.
have an estate.
Well, I've worked very hard in my life to afford a good life in Gold Throne.
Excellent. Me too.
I will make sure that if y'all can help me get back home, I will make sure you are handsomely rewarded for it.
Oh, well, I don't.
That's the least I can do for y'all helping me. I would have been dead in those woods if it weren't for all of you. So
Well, we would have been dead in the sky if it wasn't for you.
I'm not sure that's true, but I will accept it wholeheartedly.
Well, you shot the guy.
I did, well, no, and he pats his crossbow like, that is all thanks to Evangeline. My sweet darling.
Yes, your relationship.
How long have you had Evangeline?
Oh, Evangeline and we've been together since my days in the Harvest Guard. Well, she's killed many goblins, a few critters trying to sneak onto farms. Oh, she's been with me my whole life. Never replace her. He just like pats her and like holds a very, very cat. Like he fucking loves this crossbow. He's just like, yeah.
Does she talk to you as well?
Don't be ridiculous. She's a crossbow.
No, I just thought the way you talk about her, maybe she's sentient, like Tiangong.
What?
Hold on.
He kind of eyes you very strange. You saying you talk to your sword and it talks back?
Sometimes. It's not really words.
Right. Well, I don't know. Evangeline doesn't talk back to me.
It's more a feeling.
I don't know. My hammer is like covered in mud and blood.
You gotta
and
take better
stuff.
care of that, darling. That ain't no way to be treating no weapon.
I'll get to it eventually.
Well, you know, there's plenty of great smiths up in Goldthrone. I'm sure there'll be plenty of nice dwarven artisans who'd be pleased, or ember elves, maybe. They do fine work.
Or you could carry it into the river and fall over again.
Or
You
was
want
like,
a closer look at the hammer? Because, I mean, like,
It's big.
yeah, yeah.
Bigger than your head.
It's very big, actually.
Yeah, it does really well at crushing heads, actually. Yeah.
Vala just kind of
Actually, there's some gore on it
Yeah,
still.
there is.
Vala kind of
Strip.
quietly comes up, takes a bunch of food out of the bowl, and then just kind of slinks back and kind of sits.
Hi, Vala. Oh, in that
Hi.
meantime, I was trying to say hello to my arcane focus.
Okay.
Hello.
It doesn't say anything back. Computer? Hello, computer. Very good, Star Wars.
Vala,
Yeah. Hi.
you didn't say a positive thingy.
I'm not really. I don't really want to play any games right now. It seems kind of silly.
Not a game.
It seems kind of silly.
It's a psychological uplift.
Um,
Yes.
she kind of like looks around.
You've met some new friends.
Who gave you a 9?
She kind of like looks over and she's like, oh, I did get a knife.
2 knives.
Yeah. Well, no, she gave one back to someone.
No,
you
I
didn't take it.
didn't
That was
need
it.
it.
Yeah. She kind of like no, and Yusef is like, what is that? What do you mean that you have a knife? And then Vala just kind of looks.
Had.
What do you mean?
She found a knife on the ground, and we took it off her immediately.
Oh no, I gave her a knife.
Oh
No, don't worry about rolling, Tom. What do you mean?
Yes, she needed defending.
Vala like looks at you like, shut up, like,
It's quite the knife.
shut up. And then she like looks, and then Yusef looks at her, and she just holds out her hand, and Vala's like, I might need it. If we get attacked again, I might, and she's just like, Vala, that is not a good idea. I don't think that you should have something like that.
Self-defense.
That.
We are in the wilderness.
She could use it to cut up her food.
Yes.
You may keep it until we reach the next town.
Yes, keep your one knife.
Yes.
I thought didn't you have another one?
For God's sake.
Vala's just like, no, I gave that to Nova.
Yes.
Oh, my apologies.
Nova's just making a face
Deception
of
check.
like, oh
Just give me a deception check.
no.
You've got charisma, you're a warlock. You should be fine.
I rolled a 2. That makes 5.
Just looks at you, isn't sure. Anyway, shall we continue on our journey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can eat on the move. I'm getting quite tired. Oh.
Arvel's like, nah, I mean, I'm the one that's probably gonna. We probably should keep going until night. I know that we're all tired from being up, but we should keep going until this evening. Camp properly this time.
It makes sense. I don't want to camp out here again.
I mean, walking through the woods when it's dark is not. I know some of y'all elves can see, and I've got no problem, but our human friends here are gonna struggle. So
The thing is, there's wild elves in that wood who can also see very well at night, and they would have an advantage.
well,
Keep going.
Yes.
yeah, let's keep moving.
Would they not be sleeping right now?
It depends. They probably stagger who they have on watch and things.
Well, let's keep moving then.
All right, let's keep
moving,
going.
let's
Okay,
keep moving.
so Ayla, you covered this morning, leading them through. I need somebody else to take the lead on the second journey.
I suppose I'd be mapping it as I go.
Okay, so you can make a check.
Mapping.
Survival check, please.
Survival. Oh. That's
What?
10,
10?
which isn't great.
Okay. It's fine.
You're following a river.
It's daylight and you're following the river, which makes it considerably easier. So you just begin following the bank of the river. And occasionally you have to divert off the path, head deeper into the woods, and then you kind of circle back to the river. But you can always hear it, you roughly know where it is, and with the compass it's very easy to find again. And you make good progress throughout this first day. You manage to, you follow along the river, and you don't encounter any difficulties. You eventually come to near the end, as the sun is beginning to set. You see up ahead what appears to be like an old log cabin built just off the side of the river. It maybe look like a kind of like a fisherman's hut or something like that. It looks quite large, like a small family could fit inside. And it seems to have been abandoned, but it provides, walls and a roof. Looking inside, it has clearly been ransacked. There's very little left apart from the walls themselves. You probably find some iron hooks on the walls where lanterns might have once hung and things like that. But it provides you like a good stable base for you to take a moment of respite in. When you go to sleep that night, who is taking watch? You'll need 3 different watches if you want to make sure that spellcasters can get their rest and everybody can get a full long rest in. Sentry can take one of them because she only needs 4 hours.
I can take one.
Because you trance for 4 hours and then...
I can do the last
You
one.
want to do the last one? Okay.
I will definitely do the first.
So you do
4
the
hours.
first one.
No, I'll do a trance for the first bit.
Okay.
Because I'll be next.
So in that case, it will probably be Ayla takes first watch, then Lucius, then Sentry.
Okay.
Okay.
Is this a long rest?
This is a long rest, yeah. I'm saying long rest. So Ayla, can you make a perception check for me?
21.
21. Okay. And then Lucius, can you make a perception check for me?
10.
10. Okay. So you take a rest for that night. The stars overhead. You can hear the sounds of the woods out there. You can hear animals shuffling around. You can hear insects. The sound of the river is also constantly present. This kind of constant crashing and flowing of water. But for the most part, your rest is uninterrupted. It passes by. There are no problems. You aren't attacked, or you don't sense anything trying to sneak up on you in the middle of the night. Just the evening passes considerably with ease. In the morning, you begin heading out and heading north, following along the river again. This time, the weather begins to change and it begins to rain. Around midday, the rain is quite heavy and thick. It's quite cold. And any of you that don't really have things like cloaks or warm clothing probably do begin to suffer from the cold a little bit. You get completely drenched, soaked through.
I have some furs.
Yeah, do the furs.
Yeah, if you did, yeah. You take furs or things like that. But anybody who doesn't, certainly Yusuf, Corin, Arvel, and Vala, none of them have anything, so they just kind of get quite wet and miserable.
Okay.
And it kind of just puts an air of demoralization around everybody. As you reach what you think is probably the edge of the Bitterwood on the second day, the trees begin thinning out, and you begin to notice kind of warning signs. And Ayla, you'd probably recognize these. You see things like strips of leather hung from trees with things like ears or fingers attached to them. Writing carved into trees in Elvish reads, our land, get out, and stuff like that, or trespassers will be killed, that sort of thing. And it's basically, these appear to be kind of warning signs for people not to come into these woods. But you don't see much more than that. You just kind of see these kind of things scattered around as warnings to anybody that comes around. And the rest of that day goes uneventful. For the next night, who is taking watch? Are you going to do the same watch again?
Sure.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Perception checks, please.
By the way,
Oh, no.
before everyone goes to sleep,
11.
I'm past 2.5 days.
So let's hypothetically change the parameters then. I've analysed how you managed to survive so far.
Yes?
Daddy's still not here.
No?
You have this amount of rations and this amount of shelter. I reckon 5.9 days.
From here or from 2.5 days ago?
From here.
Oh, that's optimistic. Good night.
Perception check.
11.
11. Come on, Chris Trott.
Yay!
17.
Okay. So, you take your watch, Ayla, and you can see the night sky above, the stars kind of rain down this gentle starlight. As mentioned on the previous episode, there is no moon on Aerois. The stars provide all of the light at night. And the cradle is this kind of aurora borealis, this kind of multicolored ring halo around the planet, wards it from planar travel and magic. And it kind of casts this kind of ever-present glow across the world. On your watch, you're sat around, the fire is kind of crackling, kind of dwindling, the embers just beginning to fade out as you add a bit more firewood to kind of keep yourself warm more than anything. The others all seem to be sleeping, but Sentry is kind of coming out of this kind of like, Lucius is coming out of his trance, but he's kind of just about to come out of it. When you see on the very edge of like the woods, looking towards you, like into the fire, you see those same big yellow eyes, the little kind of raggedy goblin. And you watch it, and you kind of have this moment of like, oh, this fucking guy again.
This prick.
And then another pair of yellow eyes appears. And then another pair of yellow eyes appears. And another. And another.
Guys, company.
And
a wonderful dream.
you watch as this kind of like, as these 6 goblins begin to rush out. So let's just do a quick initiative here.
Oh, my.
Oh, really? Oh my.
Goblins!
No, not a goblin.
We got the
I'm gonna roll with
goblins.
sparkly dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Maybe don't.
Sparkly dice gave me 2, which brings me up to 5. I'd like to think that Nova's just soundly asleep,
So
clutching her sword.
NPCs.
6 gobs. 6
Ooh.
gobbos.
Goblins are very quick.
Are they?
Nippy little boat. Surprise round.
Well, not surprised because Ayla spotted them, but more that I just rolled very high on their initiative. Ayla,
16.
Quill,
Unnatural 20.
Nova,
5.
Lucius,
8.
and 1.
Team sleeping over here.
He was technically waking up.
Yeah.
So Ayla,
Bedhead.
Ayla and Lucius are the only ones who are awake at this point. Everybody else, you are still asleep, so you don't get to act. Lucius, you have not had the benefits of a full rest, so you don't have your spell slots. Actually, you had a full rest
we've had
yesterday.
full rest.
Yeah, I'm being an idiot. Ayla, you watch as these 6 goblins just like rush forward, like in a kind of incest kind of like thing. They rush into
what?
the like they're incest with like this energy.
Oh,
they
incest.
They kind of just like
I thought you
rush.
said incest.
No, they don't incest. They are incest with energy, and this
That's awkward.
they rush into the camp, and 2 of them are going to rush up towards you. 2 rush over towards Lucius, but the other 2 just set upon the bags, and they're just like ripping into the bags, like pulling out stuff that they can grab as much as they can. They're pulling out like food and like water skins, and they're just like literally gunning for whatever they can grab.
Little shits!
So one is going to try and shank you. 2 of them are. One kind of steps up and clumsily trips over his own feet, and you kind of like look to the side, almost like, what are they doing? And then the other one, like very surprisingly, darts forward and just tries to ram the blade into your knee. That was like a 19, that's 23 to hit.
Does not hit you.
Yeah. So that's going to be 5 points of damage as this kind of like blade just like swoops in. You have to twist your ankle to get out of the way, and it kind of drains some of your stamina. Lucius, you're kind of like, just coming to, and then you see these creatures with like grey and green mottled skin and like ragged little furs and loincloths with these kind of like serrated shivs, and they try and shiv you.
Well.
So that's going to be a 20 to hit and then a 13 to hit.
Both hit.
Ooh.
Are they speaking Auron?
That's going to be 13 points of damage.
I'm down.
You're down?
So Lucius kind of like looks up as these goblins, 2 of them just jump on him and they just start pummeling him with like fists and knives, and you're just like, as these goblins are like,
Already down.
Jeez.
yeah, like 2 of them hit him and they rolled high on damage. Like, That's what's gonna happen with goblins.
Gee whiz.
Quill, you wake up, but that's your at the end of your turn. You are like, Ayla's cry kind of reaches you, and you see this going on basically.
Okay.
Sister Yusuf does the same.
I'm going to sleep. He's already down.
Sentry does the same. Ayla.
I would like to rage.
So you're like, oh, you little fucks.
So there's 2 on me and then
2 on you, and then 2 on Lucius, and then 2 going through your bags. And they're kind of barking. Do you speak Goblin? I'm assuming not.
No.
So yeah, they're barking at each other in like this kind of guttural, like.
Okay. I will just hit one that's on me. 16.
16 hits, yeah. They're wearing like little kind of scrappy leather, and they've kind of got these like little wooden bucklers.
11 points of damage.
You crush one. You literally like kick him in the stomach and then bring the hammer down, and you just hear this wet kind of like noise as he just gets pummeled into the ground and like things break. His friend looks like his eyes go super wide.
Bearing in mind that the lightning is starting to crackle
And
right
then
now.
he just sort of like starts backing away. After that, so Vala, so basically everybody wakes up, but it takes a time except Nova, who's not awake yet. Lucius, I need you to make a death saving throw, please.
I'm probably at the last of the...
That was nearly a 1,
How am I not awake?
because you're lowest in the initiative.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to jump in,
One
but you've gone down.
Success.
There's an injury table.
Thank you, Tom Hazel. Can you make a
Thank you,
constitution
Tom
Oh,
save?
you're
Hazel.
such a sucker!
No, he's not suck up. He's being a legit player.
14.
14, that's enough. Don't know if to take an injury anyway.
And now we're playing fair.
Yeah. So, and you got an, what was it? What was it on your death saving throw?
14.
40 on that was the
17.
injury
You
table.
got
You get 17 on the death saving throw. What did you
Yeah.
roll on the death saving throw?
I succeeded.
Yeah, you succeeded. So you get one success.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Nova, eventually you kind of like, and like somebody's like shaking you, and you're like, you kind of wake up,
It's not
and
morning
you
yet.
just see like in front of you, going through your bags, like with one of your books in its mouth, is this goblin. He's like, and like looks directly at you, and it's like, and then it like opens its mouth, and it's just rows of like needle-like teeth. The book hits the ground. And it just runs at you.
I'm just gonna be like, how dare you!
So one runs at you, one runs at Quill, one runs at Arvel, and one runs at Sister Yusuf. They kind of just leave you because they think they've killed you. So Nova against you, that's going to be a 17 to hit.
I would like to use shield, please.
Okay, so you kind of like, and this kind of magical force field erupts. So this goblin guy like goes to stab down, and you hear him kind of go like, and just nothing goes through, and you're like,
That book was expensive!
Quill. Doesn't matter, it's a natural 1 to hit you. Okay. So it goes to hit you, and then you kind of like, and you kind of like sweep your wing, kicking up like all this dirt into its eyes, and it's like, stumbles backwards.
I guess with that movement of the wing, 3 feathers fly out and pinpoint.
It's not your turn.
Is it not?
No,
No,
I'm
it's-
attacking.
I thought you said Quill. You did say Quill.
One of them,
attacked.
I said Quill,
Is
one
getting
is attacking you.
That makes sense.
One Arvel kind of like struggles awake, and like this goblin is like has got a hand on Evangeline, and he's like, "Rrr," and then the goblin just punches Arvel in the face, and he's like, "Ah!" So you can see like blood kind of spewing out of his nose a little bit.
Jeez.
And then one against Sister Yusuf, she manages to like leap out of the way as this thing kind of like lunges towards her and like probably pins part of her robe to a log, and she's just like tears it away. Then the last one is going to disengage as a bonus action from Ayla and just like run over and probably go for Corin because it looks like a weaker thing.
Is he a rogue? Rogue goblin?
Goblins are naturally quite evasive like that. One runs up to Corin, stabs him through the stomach, and you watch as he just like looks down and then poof, collapses and goes down as well.
Oh. Well, this is not going well.
Goblins! Quill, you're awake finally.
I'm awake. So how many are there, sorry?
There's now 5.
Five
Ayla
of
has
them.
squished one.
Okay, I'm going to, I guess with that movement of the wing where I sprayed some dust into him, 3 feathers will fly out and pinpoint just ping, ping, ping at each individual one. That's a magic missile.
Okay, so you're going to hit 3 goblins with
3
1 missile
different
each.
ones,
Okay,
yeah.
so roll, just roll them for me, 1d4 plus 1 each.
Bam. That is a 1d4 plus 1. Oh yeah, 5 for one of them, 3 for another, 2 for another.
Okay, so the first one hit seems to like really gets blown off of his feet and like kind of sent into the dirt and is like barely holding on, like clutching his chest. The other two are like hit, but they kind of spin with it, and they seem to yeah, the damage isn't quite lethal or anything like that. All three are still alive, but one of them looks quite injured. And yeah, they're just kind of swarming around the camp. Like these are all within range that you either you have to disengage from them or you melee attack them or whatever. They're all basically in your grill. Sister Yusuf will attempt to. She'll see Corin go down and rush over to him, and she will healing word him because she cares about him. So that's going to be that's her friend. Oh. So she kind of plants her hands on his chest and is like, no, stay with me, stay with Corin, stay with me. And like you can see his eyes kind of begin to flutter awake. That's her turn. Sentry will stand up, see the ones that kind of attack Lucius and immediately set to attacking one. She's going to hit one, killing one as well. So she brings the battle axe down, like cleaves into its neck. And then the force kind of just sends him sprawling to the ground as she kind of picks herself up and readies herself to fight more. So that will be that one. After Sentry, Ayla.
Leash.
The rage.
Is there one still near Lucius, or have they left?
No, they've all left Lucius.
Okay.
So there's now
Whatever.
one.
Is it 25?
You hit.
Yeah, 25.
I'll have you hit the uninjured one.
Same 11 points.
I crossed it off before you rolled damage because I figured that it'd probably be dead. Yeah. So again, you just come in with a side swipe, you hit it so hard it flies off into the side, hits a tree, and you just see this wet kind of like slide down.
I'm just making up for being completely paralyzed from the last one.
Got a lot of rage to work out.
Vala kind of like comes awake, sees like the one that just stabbed Corin is now kind of threatening Yusuf. And she's going to throw the dagger. That she kind of pulls out the dagger and like throws it towards it.
See, useful, useful.
Yeah, it's useful. She hits because that's going to be a 19, and she will do 5 enough to kill it. This one, like the dagger thunk into the chest and just like and just kind of flops down, and then she is quickly trying to pull the other one out from her belt pouch. Arvel will punch the one trying to fight Evangeline. You watch.
So he just got punched, and he just returns with another punch.
He just gets punched, and he's like, "Get your hands off Evangeline!" Drops his hands, grabs the goblin's head, and then just like and snaps his neck.
Wow.
Cute.
And then
Such a jovial
Lucius.
moment.
Death saving throw, please.
That's another success.
Nice.
No success. Nova.
The one.
There's one left, and he was the one that the magic missile blasted off to the side.
Okay.
And he's
Is that the one
like,
that
he's
was-
barely just getting up. He's like,
Was he chewing?
huh?
Was he
No.
chewing? Okay.
No, that one
Is
was
he the-
probably Sentry killed that one.
The book chewer.
No, Sentry killed that one.
I would like to cast Toll the Dead, please.
Okay.
And he's already missing HP,
Yeah.
right?
Is it a saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
DC
wisdom on a goblin.
DC 13.
Oh, I rolled a 5 and that's -1, so yes. So you kind of raise the sword and you hear this dung. His head explodes.
I caused 10 points of damage.
Cool. Yeah.
Fucking
It's
hell.
dead. That's all 6
I'd like to think
goblins.
that if he
noise.
was the book chewer, he'd absorbed all of that knowledge and his brain exploded. That's what's going on in my head.
So we go Quill
Crystal
because all
skull.
the goblins are dead, but Lucius is still down.
I will run over and use healing word on him.
Well, you don't need to run over.
Sorry.
His healing word is, or do you mean cure wound?
Cure wounds, yeah.
Okay, so D8 plus wisdom.
D8, D8, D8. Okay. So you recover 4 HP. I rolled a 1.
That's enough to stop him being dead.
Yeah. Welcome back.
And yeah, you will end this session with these 6 goblin bodies as Lucian's eyes like,
What a nice dream!
That was a nightmare.
Lucius, Daddy flew by and got them all.
Daddy!
and that's probably where we'll end today's episode.
How many days was that technically?
There was one
Probably
day.
not.
End
So-
of second day.
End of second day, literally after he said, like, I've made it 2.5
I
days.
shouldn't have readjusted my calculation.
There you go.
Very close.
Very close. Yeah, so we're going to read some donations
Okay.
now. And
you want
Kim
the
needs to give the
solution?
solution to the puzzle.
Okay, so first of all, let us do the solution to the
Fucking
puzzle.
goblins.
Steve, can you bring up the second diagram, please?
There it is.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow. So basically, in order to turn the kind of first configuration into the final configuration, you needed 3 moves. So by mentally overlaying the
Congrats,
patterns,
you got it.
we can see that at least 3 coins will need to move to new positions because no matter how you position them, the 2 figures can overlap by at most 7 coins. So the rearrangement can actually be done in exactly 3 moves by moving the two coins in the bottom corners of the triangle into the row that previously had 2 coins, making a new row of 4,
Which
then
reverses
taking
it, and
the coin at the top and moving it to the bottom.
Makes
go.
sense. That
Nice
makes
and easy.
Nice.
Did you get that? If you didn't, get better at puzzles with Brilliant.
Nice. .org.
And
With
if
our
you want
code.
awesome D&D character sheets, get D&D Beyond, because it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, sponsors.
Thank you.
Cool. So cool. So we're going to read some donations. I'm going to say one thing. I'm really surprised that you haven't checked out that spear tip yet. I thought that you'd be all over that.
Yeah, but we're
Like, what
there's
was I
so
doing?
much going on.
You've had like 2 long rests.
I was gonna ask actually if I could, I don't know, have a commune with Tiangong, but I guess we'll do that in the next
Yeah,
one.
guess so. I'm
'Cause
just surprised. I was like,
Write
oh,
a note.
I thought you'd be all over that. Like,
You picked it up.
fucking Nova has.
Nova's got it.
Okay.
Cool. Hannah, is that just Hannah?
Yep.
Hannah donated £10. Thanks, Hannah. The North House donated. Unable to watch you live today and next week. Instead, I'm traveling to Japan. Well, don't worry. Well, first of all, have a great time in Japan.
Yeah.
I'm going in October and I'm excited.
Konnichiwa.
And then the next thing is don't worry about next week because we're not streaming next week. Because we're away. Nightjar, thank you very much. You lovely, sweet person, you. JC Ruza, thank you very much. Kim, I just had to donate to say congratulations. Everyone is very happy for you and I'm glad to hear you were doing better. You will look amazing on both of your days. And I'm sure of this because you are always amazing. Because
thank
Kim's
you.
getting married.
I'm
If
getting
you've not seen
married
her
in
vlog.
August.
Darkram79, thank you very much. Here's a little something for you awesome people and congratulations to the bride-to-be. Boom, thank you very much. Oliver Envey donated, thank you very much, no message. Zafir1 donated. Donating before today's session to say a few
Sensing a
things.
theme.
First off, huge congratulations to Kim. So happy for you and your special friend. And I was wondering if you caught the theme I wrote for Nova on Twitter. I'm trying to work my way through everyone. Thank you very much, Zafir1.
I spotted it and then the vlog went out and my Twitter just went,
Blew up.
so.
Dancing
I
on
will do it
Fire
again.
donated. Thank you very much. Congrats, Kim. I'm so happy to hear you're in a much better place and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Severarka, I'll pass it on after this one. Hello, lovelies, and congratulations to you, Kim Puzzleable. It was great seeing you on the YouTubes again, even if it was only for one video so far. Good luck this session. Don't let Sentry die. What a mess you've come back to, Katie. It was fine. It worked out fine.
Yes.
And then I'm going to pass the buck to Kitty.
Thank you. Hayoshi213 says, hello friends, I'm happy to say that I will soon be a proud owner of a High Rollers t-shirt and a dice set. Thank you very much. Just need to wait 7 to 20 business days for it to get to me in the US.
Oops.
Also, Kim, congratulations. The engagement ring is freaking awesome.
Thank you.
And Victor Ambrose has donated saying, hey guys, first time catching you online. Just want to say you guys are awesome and I love watching you. You guys have been teaching me how to play and how to DM. I hope I can be as good as you guys someday. Keep it up and stay amazing. As long as you're having fun, then that is the main thing. Silenced Hand says, I sure hope Ross is making a miniature of Greyfriars Bobby. Ross,
We need to talk
get on
about
it.
that poor wee doggy.
Golden nose.
Dragster has donated saying, hello all, just a donation to say congrats to Kim on the engagement. Whoever he is, he's the luckiest man in the world.
Well, Tom, are you?
Whoa.
That's not true.
Hot scoop.
Oh, I'm very uncomfortable then all of a sudden.
Subject Delta 814 says, read this if Sentry dies. No, my ship of Sentry and Quill is sunk before it sets sail. Why?
Wait.
If Sentry lives, yay, my ship that will never happen can continue to exist in my mind.
Nice.
I don't know if my first donation went through. We'll watch the vid.
Never say
Uncomfortable
never.
again.
And come on, do you want to take over?
Sure. Hail Garin the Mad. Last owner for a long time, left my painful retail job a few months back and now trying to get onto a uni course through clearing. If all goes to plan, I'll be moving to Wales to do a BSc in AI and robotics.
Whoa, that's
What?
cool.
That's cool.
Here's hoping
Make
they
a
accept
century.
me.
That's hella cool.
Robots.
That's
God.
really cool.
Howdy Becky. Looks like I've made this donation thing a weekly event now, but I can't resist. Can't have you forgetting how much I'm enjoying my Sunday evenings. Great to have you back, Katie, and it was nice seeing you last Saturday. Also, loving the Posheen
It was
tea,
nice to
Kim.
see you. I saw it hide.
Oh.
Oh, is that honey as in honey? Oh, as with
Cross
and the pencils.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nightjar again with the party's first massacre.
It's a bonding experience.
And Oshi, hi guys, I was unable to watch the finale live because of college work and other stuff, but I've caught up and what an amazing finale it was. Thank you for all that you do. I'm really enjoying the second campaign. Congratulations on your engagement, Kim.
Thank you.
And there you go, you can carry on.
Wait for Dabberdees. Dabberdees has donated. I like that name. Dabberdees has donated.
Dabberdees.
So glad I managed to get home on time for this episode. Working on Sundays now means I finish and I have to come down the M5, but I'm here and that's all that matters. A great episode and I'm only halfway through. Thank you. The mighty Björn. Greetings, High Rollers. I don't get to catch you guys often from Vancouver time difference, and school, but today I have. Skiving, are we? I wanted to say that not only have you inspired me to play D&D, but to write. I am presently 25k words into drafting a sci-fi novel.
Nice.
That's
Good
epic.
stuff.
Good luck.
Right, every day.
Next up,
That's the rule.
Azul Aura. I think in addition to a daddy count, we also need a Lucius adding the letter Y to the end of words county.
Or IE.
Scouties.
Scouties.
This stream continues to be the highlight of my week and about the only stream I watch on a regular basis. Keep it up.
Before we continue, I have some exciting things to tell you. In fact, continue for a bit longer because I'm working some maths.
Okay, you take it.
Oh, math, that's exciting. Taka 2025 donated. Congrats to Kim on the big news from all the thing called.
Thank you.
We know you will look fetch on the day. P.S. Watch Des Do Rambling Rollers for your weekly catch-up ramble. #ad. Des Do Rambling Rollers. P.P.S. Tom, we are still awaiting answers on Quill's bathroom habits. #bird
I mean, I'll think about it.
You're gonna need to get your iPads out because I forgot to tell you how much experience you have.
Yes,
I knew that
experience.
this would be exciting.
We're gonna level up. We're gonna level up. We've got to.
Do I get my stormy powers now?
I mean, we killed like 10 people and then like 1 million goblins.
The goblins, I will tell you now. So the way that I'm doing experience is very house rule-y. You generally only get experience for fights which will challenge you. You won't get fights for things which I consider to be an even encounter. So the goblins, unfortunately, don't get any experience because you didn't really learn anything from fighting them.
He got
I
almost
learned it
killed by
was
one
fun.
or two of them.
Yeah, I didn't really learn anything from fighting them in the way that I think
I
it
learned a
works
lot
out.
about Lucius.
However, I think you did considerably learn something with the fights against the Wild Elves, which was a very challenging encounter. It was a deadly encounter.
Oh, good.
And you were very vastly outnumbered, but things worked out. You each gain 330 experience points, which I believe is enough to take you to level 3.
It is.
I'm also semi-tracking experience for NPCs because Sister Yusuf has fought with you pretty much in every major fight you've had, so she's going to gain experience.
Nice.
Powers!
And so does Vala.
So
she helped out this last one.
Level
So
3.
you guys are level 3. So what we will do is we'll roll things like HP after stream. So we'll do that outside of stream. So it'll take a bit of time.
You're not going to be on 12 HP anymore, bud.
I need to choose which one I go for. Barber
Yeah.
Cleric.
Which do you feel you've done more of?
I mean, I definitely did more of the cleric, the Arcana domain cleric stuff, because I did magic missile and things
Well,
like
not
that.
even necessarily in what spells you cast, but how do you feel Quill, like, as a person? What is he invested more in?
He wasn't charismatic, and his inspiration was garbage. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense that for this time round,
Should we
he's quite lucky.
continue
he's
just
Yeah.
because Steve
Yeah, that's true.
Meta magic.
Metamanu donated. Daddy will be there, no doubt. Sure, no worries, of course. Daddy.
Daddy.
Thank you, Daddy. Metamanu. Sky Silverwing donated. Congratulations on your engagement, Kim. I'm glad you found someone worthy of you. There we go. Ace of Thorns donated. Astrology, a science. Ooh, don't get this actual scientist started. But seeing that it's you wonderful
Astronomy.
people, I'll let it slide. And
it's
yes,
a-
you still get hugs.
It's
a
the
fancy
difference
world.
between astrology and astronomy, though.
I think I meant more an astronomer.
Yeah,
but I
astronomer,
said
not
astrologer.
the star sign.
But also, you're talking to a religious lowlander.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Darth Dave 41, thank you very much. Justice for Birdie. Honestly, you wipe out a tribe of natives for some people you were just on an airship with, and they haven't even asked you your name.
hell?
Continue on because I jumped in.
Ramucci donated for Goblin Incest. That's what I'm here for, Mark. Thanks. Metamanu donated. Mark's goblins are the best. I love them. More, please. Vevlar donated. What a great episode this has been. Committing a massacre of an elf tribe. Funny goblin encounter. Quilek finally got introduced to the group. We learned about daddy's dinnies, scouties, and fishies. Dangerous goblin encounter. I love this campaign. Thank you, Vevlar. Stonehenge Ray donated. Daddy bets. This week, Lucian said daddy a total of 7 times. And out of the 17 people in chat that took part, Eleni Meme guessed correctly.
Well, they've been doing bets on who says what. Oh, that's good.
There you go.
Only 7.
There's an awkward dog burner.
Oh, read it.
Boner News live on channel 69. Woodland wild elves and incest goblins brutally massacred by murderous party. Local library opens a new wing of knowledge on astral bodies. Astral bodies. And for extras, deranged high elf claims to wait for daddy to come. Hashtag bone on Sunday.
Wow.
Oh no, no.
And he didn't jump on the
Goblin incest. Oh, he did.
Oh,
He mentioned it.
Oh yeah.
Bop. Donated. I'm late. Shit.
Thank you. Okay.
And one more. Fuck.
Wow, okay. Can we read them out?
Lord Ouija donated twice. First saying, fuck, late, shit on my face now, Trot. And Lord Ouija donated again saying, shit, again. I'm going to stop there.
Wow.
Katie, read this last one.
Varys has donated saying, unlike the reset of the
Rest.
on the rest of the people who donate, I'm really not imaginative, so I struggle to come up with anything interesting to say. So just take my money and keep up the good work.
We will.
Thanks.
The last person literally just said shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for your donations. Thanks to all the people that subbed to the High Rollers D&D channel.
Yes.
Yes,
We always
someday.
appreciate
Get
it.
emotes.
It's cool emotes. Thank you very much for checking out the episode. Like I said, we won't be here next week. We'll be back the week after.
Which gives you 2 weeks' time to submit some fan art to highrollersdnd@gmail.com.
Please do. I
With
wanna
your
see,
usernames.
I want to. There's a lot of badass moments. I want to see Vala being a badass at the beginning with her cool spells. I want to see the goblins.
requests.
I want to see the gerblins.
I want to see Ayla
Incest goblin.
squishing a goblin.
I want to see Ayla dragging herself out of the water, soaking wet.
Looking glamorous.
Yeah, like.
A little bit of seaweed in your hair.
Scenes are cool.
It's like
I
Moana
love
when she
scenes.
flips her
I
hair
think
and
scenes are cool.
smacks her back in the face again.
That's exactly
That.
what I had in my mind. So there we go. Thanks very much.
Oh,
we'll see you next
Moana.
time. Hashtag roll on Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.